How do you go about planning your projects?
I wing it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, I wing it. I kid you not. Kit bashing, there's no plans. I have it.
What is going on, people? It is Wednesday or whatever day you're listening to this podcast. Is a brand new episode of the Undergated podcast presented to you by the Undergated Network. Today's going to be a fun day, a legendary day. I'm glad. But of course, I got the fellas with me. I got CD and Gunpla Tesseract. I was about to say Gunpla Dad. My fault. We got CD and Gunpla Tesseract.
All right. I know you see me as a father figure.
I appreciate it, Austin. Man.
Yeah. It's all right. No problem.
Yeah, hey. Sun me on air. No worries.
Crazy.
No worries. If you're wondering when the applications are going out, people,
Hey,
stay tuned.
Hey, I got 2 more years on my contract, sir.
We'll see.
You got to pay me out.
we three come together every Wednesday to give y'all like I said, a brand new episode of the Undergated podcast. We appreciate it. This is everything Gunpla, anime, books, movie, TV reviews, whatever you want to name it, interviews as well. And last week, because we had the NFL draft, if you're watching this, the NFL draft is already commenced, and we did our own little take of a Gundam draft. So if you missed last week's episode, this is what you missed. You see that's all you see right there. All you see off the board. UC play strong. If I had to compare UC, that's the SEC of Gundam is the UC, right? So these guys, the Georgia Alabamas of the world, right? Team UC, Londell Bell, this foundation. Those are big names. I mean, we got smaller schools coming into the UC.
Power 5.
It's a power. Yep, and that was last week's episode. We did our own little draft. I think we gave our. I think overall it was a good draft for everybody.
I think Austin gave himself an S.
He gave himself an S tier draft.
I did knock it down to an A. I think we can all admit Galgoods tend to die, and I had that as my first pick.
Well, let us know in the comments too, and we'll go back and watch that video. We've been getting a lot of comments of like people what they'll take, man. Maybe we'll post that up there on Instagram as well. So we appreciate everybody watched and tuned in. This is a fun guest, a legend in the community. Nonetheless, a legend in the community when it comes to his builds, his paint, everything in between. He's a great guy. The process, he's a great guy, great dad all the way around, great husband. We want to bring into the studio. There's nothing else we could say about this guy, man.
No introduction needed.
No introduction.
The man, the myth, the legend himself.
The man, the myth, the legend himself. We got the homie Otaku Builder in studio.
Hey.
This is exciting, man. We got you in here. We're glad you was able to get on and join in. We're gonna have a pretty fun episode, so make sure y'all stay tuned, stick around. We got some dope questions as always, and of course Otaku Builder is gonna break down the process for us of what goes through his mind when it comes through his builds and his projects. So make sure y'all stay tuned. But of course, as always, before we get started, mental health check, the greetings. How's it? Everybody's week been? CD, how's your week been, brother?
It's not too bad. Not been too bad. We got a little bit of sun up here in Seattle, so it was nice. Then it quickly turned back into rain. So hopefully it brightens up for the weekend just a little bit so we can get outside and have some fun. But had my 60-day review today at work. So I'm doing great.
That's good.
Next review, right on. Money can come in. I get a little raise too. So I'm looking forward to that. But other than that, man, fam's good. Chloe's good, little kicking butt, so she's running around causing havoc as we speak. But good.
There you go.
How about you guys?
Austin, how you doing, man?
Shoot, my week's been up and down. It's been I've been it's been up and down. There's good things. There's things I can that I kind of like. Man, I wish I had Tuesday back, but you know what? It's not really that much of an issue. It's just one of those times where you sit back and you're like, huh. I feel like I could probably add something to my itinerary, and then you're driving home and you get a call and you're like, oh no, I can't. No. My day's full. So I mean, it's
Oh
nothing.
man, Austin cut out. Mark
Oh,
time is 4:22.
420. Am I still here? My back.
You just came back in. CD2.
Okay, cool. Short, sweet. My week's been all right.
Yeah.
It's been all right. It's some things I can improve on, but you know what? Life is life, and I'm kicking it. So it's whatever.
Yeah, pretty much.
So life is life, baby. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
James, what about you, man? How you doing? How's life treating you?
It has been a roller coaster for saying very few force of words. Work's been hell. Working at the factory, they are really trying to figure out who they want to keep, who they want to get rid of, and then there's a juggle being a content creator trying to make sure things come out at the right time. Thankfully, with my collaborator, we have a video coming out very soon, so I'm so happy how it's turning out. It's going to look great. And as for the family, my son is now 1 year and 5 months. He's running around kicking and screaming. He says my name, Dada. He just warms my heart all the way. He's like literally my biggest inspiration right now to keep on working where I work at. I mean, otherwise I would have left a long time ago. And as for my wife, she is literally the backbone in this family. She looks after our kids. She takes care of our finances. She looks after what needs to be done around the house. She's going through her challenges as being a mother, and we just go day by day and trying to get everything done as a unit.
That's it.
Yeah, but other than that, you guys hit me up. Eager to talk to more people around the community, and I can't tell you how happy I am, man. I'm excited.
Absolutely, man. I'm glad to have you on, man.
We're happy to have you, man. We're
Thank
happy.
you.
I tell you, man, my week has been like it's been good. Work's been work. Work's been kicking it. Other than that, just I'm coming up on my year anniversary, so it's getting close to that time where you can start venturing out to other branches. So I'm sitting down with the people I need to sit down with to get pretty much the tech side of the company, which what I mean by tech, like the tech, like the cybersecurity side. I could shoot a signal to this VPN and see who's doing what and doing when and how often they doing that and cut. And I'm like, okay, great. That's I'm trying to get into this. So
that's good.
Scheduling meetings every week and sitting down and just can't wait till I get to sit down with the fellas and talk some in anime, Gundams, model kits, everything in between.
So, highlight of the week.
And that's it. Let us know in the comments below how's y'all week been. We appreciate everybody that wants to let us know about their personal life. So it's crazy how people let us know. Not crazy in a bad way, but crazy in a way where like people feel comfortable, and we appreciate that. So thanks for everybody who tunes in and listens in for that. And next up, building and breaking down that backlog. Any new items that we added into the backlog when it comes to model kits? I can make mine short and sweet. The answer is no. I got nothing that came in this week, which is great. Nothing really catches my eye. Like I'm on New Type every day at work. I'm on Amazon every day at work. There's nothing catching my eye. I'm like,
you trying to give away some money, huh?
Nah, I'm trying to, but nobody's trying to take it. That's how it is. But no, man. James, you got any new pickups? Any new kits?
I have tons, but the big three I want to show you guys is the ones I'll be working on the next couple of months, and they're not Gundam related. So that's one thing I would definitely put a heavy emphasis in when I do content. Is I don't solely focus on just Gunpla. There are some gems out there in the industry that most people tend to ignore, but you'd be readily surprised that they're really good. So I have three. One is very obvious. I picked this up 3 months ago. This is Metal Gear Ray. So super big fan of Metal Gear. I built the Rex almost 3.5 years ago, custom painted it, Did the camouflage on it as well. Put custom LEDs. This is like around the time I was getting really familiar with putting LEDs, and I always wanted to do Metal Gear Ray, but I wasn't quite comfortable doing the actual like camouflage, the metallic paint finish on it. So now that I've gotten pretty good at painting, I can really pull this off and make it look amazing. Next one. This one is a very rare one. This is from a video game series from Sega. It's called Border Breakers, and the kit's called the Cougar NX.
Oh,
I've never even heard of that.
yeah.
Wait,
Exactly. Yeah, it's very unique. It's like I said, this one's really unique and really interesting because when you actually go inside the cockpit, you can actually see all the cool little details in there, and it has tons. Okay, first off, it has an action base, and then you got the weapon accessories. There's a lot. Pre-posable hands, just like 2 laser blades and whatnot. And then there's a challenge of actually trying to make it look weathered and damaged. So that part's going to be really, really fun. And then last and finally, this one's my all-time favorite because back in 93 or 94, there was a little television show on UPN 13 called Technoman, released every Sunday morning. And this kit right here is part of the universe. Soul Technoman.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. We see those kits. I just didn't know what series it was from.
Yeah. Well, in the West, they called it Technoman, which was very weird because the intro was like, it was high techno music, really popping. And when you watch the Japanese version, it's just nothing but J-pop rock with heavy metal. And it's called Technoman. So as a kid, they did have these model kits readily available for the public. They were like, I would say they were on the side of a high grade quality, not too master grade, a little bit on the high grade, just enough detail where you can just put it together, pose it, and put it on your shelf. And they did Soul Tekkaman Blade, and I believe the other one was called Saber. That is Tekkaman Blade's brother in the TV show. And literally, I kid you not, 25 years later, there was nothing else being distributed until last year. And a wonderful company by the name of Orange Cat Industries is distributing them right now. So they already did Tekkaman, they got Saber out there, and then Soul Tekkaman. So those are like the most popular ones in the lineup. I do hope, and I think it is possible because the show is popular, they might come out with Pegasus. He is literally an expansion pack to Tekkaman. I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with the show.
No.
D-Boy loses his ability to use the Tekkaman crystal. So the organization that he works with, called the Space Knights, develop a mech in which it can harness the energy and then allow D-Boy to transform inside this mecha. So not only it doubles as a transforming gimmick, but he can actually use Pegasus as like a secondary weapon to use as Voltecker or use as like a flying aircraft in space or in land on low orbit in the Earth. So I'm hoping, but the problem is it's going to be very big if it's going to be proportionally correct. So I would say the height and the size will be close to a 1/60th scale, but I don't know they'll commit to it. Me personally, I will love it because I'm a big Tekkaman fan. But I'm super stoked if they ever do it. I'm gonna buy it. I don't know when I'll get around to building it, but
like everything else, man.
It literally is like everything that I've gotten up to now has literally been sitting in the garage for like 2 years plus. And I was literally going to get started working on it last year, but I became a father.
There you go.
By the way, I'm very happy being a father. So I'm very blessed with that. But that's pretty much it. Those are like the big ones I'm looking forward to really doing justice by the end of the year.
There you go.
Dope.
Do you know which one we're going first?
It's going to be Metal Gear Ray. Everyone's been requesting that a lot more. But before I work on that, next month I have a little bit of a special project that I'll be doing with a close friend of mine that I've known for like 15 plus years. We've been Xbox buddies since back in the Xbox 360 days. So he's a big Star Trek fan. So I want to do something really nice to building one of his all-time favorite Federation starships.
Nice.
Yeah. There you go. That's it. What's
free of charge, of course. free of charge. I'm not charging him anything. He's a good friend.
All right,
that's what's up. Those are some unique pickups, man. I mean, we're so used to seeing Gundam all the time that we've seeing new stuff. Yeah, awesome.
What you pick up, Austin? Got anything new in?
So I did get one thing in. Yeah, just one thing. I think last week everybody was talking about how not CD. I'm sorry, Cooper was getting some free stuff from the what's his name? Crow. Cro-Mag.
Oh yeah,
Cro-Mag.
Cro-Mag. Yeah.
Who walked in and gave away free stuff right as I left Hobbytown. So I was like, well, okay, that's cool, I guess. But then Joe, our good friend at Hobbytown, actually was able to pick something up for me and hold it for me that he got from him, and that is, ladies and gentlemen, it is the Shield Booster expansion set by the third-party company, which I believe their names is Effect Wings, and it's for the Master Grade 1100 TR1 Hazel. And as you guys know, I'm a huge fan of AOZ, so anytime I get anything that's related to AOZ, I might as well pick up at least one of them. So this is my second box. So now I have 4 of these Shield boosters, which means if we are able to now get, if Bandai, please, I'm putting my hands together and I'm praying, please, if we get the expansion booster pack, I can finally make the Hazel Raw with the 2 expansion booster packs on each side with 4 shields, because now my Advance of Zeta Master Grade collection is growing and I shall soon take over the world. And when I come to power, it's going to be AOZ every day, or at least on Wednesdays, but AOZ every day.
A lunatic. He's a lunatic, people.
A little bit, just a little bit. I couldn't find my way to the crazy house, so they put me here. And after that, that was about it. Everything else I have, I do have stuff on order that should be here soon, so I'm excited. And I'm still fighting the urge. You guys know it. I'm still fighting the urge to not buy another Master Grade Alex. I need it. I want it. It's got to be here.
Another Master Grade? I thought you didn't have one.
No. Well, that was true at the time. I was okay. Hey, CD, what you get, man?
I'm gonna let Austin be, because he's also the same guy that has 4 Master Grade Granddaddies for Origins. So,
yeah.
We'll let Austin be.
I might have to buy another one, by the way.
Things. No, Austin, no, that's fine.
I'm trying not to.
I'm taking a few things in. First, being a little package from our sponsor, Vulcan Hobby. He got me some paints. These Mr. Crystal Color by Mr. Hobby. I got a whole bunch of colors, like ruby red, a sapphire blue, a topaz gold. So they're real pretty colors. This is to go with the 5-star story build FS. As Austin has been trying to get you in. So you'll see these come to life on a suit soon. But that wasn't the only thing he sent me. I've been eyeing a Master Grade kit for a while now. I keep talking about MGCD. And I finally pulled the trigger. And I got the Amazing Red Warrior. So I'm looking forward to get working on this. I think this might actually be the next one again. I just need to stop BSing. I'm the high grade hero, so I'll leave those be, but it's time for a Master Grade.
To assist you, would you like another one? No joke. Would you like an extra one just in case?
Oh, yeah, of course.
All right, it's on the way.
or is this just going to turn into like a group build? Do I just need to pick one up and this would be the next group build?
Yeah.
If you don't,
it's one in his door too, and you're just like, wait, what?
Yeah, literally.
Hey,
if you don't know, Otaku, Austin will buy a kit and be like, "Oh, I like the gun." It'd be a Master Grade. He'll buy the kit for the gun. Oh, anybody want the kit? Wait, you just needed the gun? Yeah, I just needed the gun.
Or the chest,
or the shield. Let's not forget the shield.
So hey, I don't blame you. I will take any spare parts myself because I love kit bashing. So I don't blame you.
Thank you.
I don't blame you.
Thank you. Welcome to the podcast. It's good to have you here.
More than welcome to be here, sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
I'm happy he's here.
I did get 2 more things into. One from my good friend Austin over there. Another GM Sniper 2. Nice. I'm also like Austin. I have multiples of the lots. So this will be used for the gun too. And maybe the GM will be Cannon Fonder. It might be destroyed and die up. But then another part of our group project that we're working on, the part expansion set for the Witcher Mercury kits. Coop has his, Austin has his, and then they sent me mine. So be on the lookout for another group build from us.
Real quick, CD. What kit do you have for the Witcher Mercury one? Do you have the Firax?
The Callus.
Oh, the Callus. All right. Do you need the gun for the Firax, by the way?
No.
All right. If you could send that my way, that'd be great. Thank you.
Absolutely don't. And then lastly, some stickers.
Right
I've been waiting to get some Cool Dad stickers
Hey.
for a long time now, a couple years in the making. So these will be going out to people at our IPMS this Saturday, 10 to 4 at the Renton Community Center. Be there, be square. Come find me. I'll give you a sticker.
Dude, those are legit cute stickers.
Those are
Just-
right.
Man, hey, just make sure you save 2 or 3 of them over here, man.
Yeah.
Well, Austin too. And
I got 100, so I mean, I can
bet.
share 5. And it's been easy
Thanks,
to
man.
know.
Greatly appreciate it.
That's my haul.
Well, that's pretty
Right
decent
on.
hauls. I mean, like all over. I mean, from every end of the spectrum. So let us know in the comments below if y'all picked up anything new, if y'all pulled out anything into your backlog to work on, because of course, next up we have what's cooking. Kits. I am breaking out. I don't know. Do I want to? I mean, is it really a secret? I guess I don't know, man. I'm working on a kit for Vulcan Hobbies competition down there in Alabama, but I guess I'll do it. I'm debating to let people know if I want. It's like competition mindset. Like I don't want to let nobody know. But now I'm gonna do the silver bullet suppressor. I might just do that also as like a catalog journey as well. Maybe some reels, some shorts, just bring the process along. So I brought that out of the backlog. I want to take that to work with me tomorrow because Friday's a real slow day anyway. So I want to iPad.
Bring your kit to work.
Bring your kit to work day. It says it on the calendar. If anybody asks at work, that's what I want to tell them. I thought it says bring your kid to work. Oh, I thought it said bring your kit to work. My bad, man. I thought nobody else brought their gunpla, but no. So I'm gonna bring that and start chopping that up and getting ready for the next build, next project with that. So that's it.
That's
CD, what you working on? Appreciate it, man.
I did finish my last piece for IPMS. The pictures aren't out for that. I'll save that for some. Well, by the time this drops, it'll be out by then.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Look forward to seeing that. I did get something in from the fellas. Our latest group build has touched down over here on the West Coast. Our Blue Destinies. So we have Austin's the Blue Destiny 1. I'm the Blue Destiny 2, and Coop as the Blue Destiny 3. So this will be on the table at IPMS as well. You guys have one of our group builds, and I have one over here, so this is going to be dope to put that on display for us. And then, as far as books, I just finished Dark Age, which is book 5 of the Red Rising Chronicles. I'm working my way through book 6 right now. I said last week I didn't read any books, but I read this book and book 4, which is Lightbringer. So really, really good series by Pierce Brown, Red Rising. What's good, Austin?
And a Otaku, I'll let you know, CD is like a fucking machine. My bad. It's like a machine when it comes to reading books. He read that book in a week.
No, that's great. No. Like seriously, like how physical media is like disappearing every year. It's good to actually do it. Instead of looking at an iPad or a tablet, something about actually having physical media and actually looking at it and contextually holding it. Yeah, that's good. That's something you really do need. And it's a great sense of escapism, right? Because if you do it on a tablet, you can get distracted by apps, messages, and whatnot. When you have a book, you're in your own little universe, right? And I think that's very healthy.
The only thing is, CD reads through those books that are this thick in like 3 days.
That's incredible.
I mean, he's got one of the fastest reading abilities I've ever seen.
Let me tell you. So
he is.
I was like, I need to finish my stuff for IPMS, but I want to read these books. Let me listen to it. So this book was 32 hours if you listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
I read 8 hours of listening time in like an hour and a half, 2 hours. So I'm like, I would like to be able to listen and to work at the same time. As you were saying, like I'm getting distracted by the apps, not really listening, and they read too slow.
Yeah.
I had to just put everything down.
You can just knock it out quicker.
Yeah,
You truly are a
Yeah.
new type.
Hey, take it. My new type of
We gotta- I had to take him out. I'm the failed cyber new type, man. I ain't reading that book. Yep. You failed the project, buddy. Don't even worry about it. All right, cool. He's just the average Joe.
If you guys are interested, this is a really, really good series. I mean, for it to be everyone's a New York Times bestseller, and this is book 5, and he's writing 7 now, which is the last book, Iron Red God. So Pierce Brown, check it out.
What's it about?
It's a dystopian type. Pretty much, the world's broken down by classes and colors. Red being the lowest color, gold being the highest, and it's about a red making his way up to the gold to get revenge on all the inequalities as his people's faced. It's a really
Fascinating. Dude, that's interesting. Cool.
There you go.
Check it out. It should be a show in the next 2 years, so you can wait too. But I say read
Netflix will probably pick it up.
Yep. So I'll wait.
Yeah.
Wait if it's long.
Yeah. If it exists, Netflix will make it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What you working on, Austin?
So I did release the strike last week. Big ups. Thank you everybody who was giving me a lot of ups and praise for it. Thank you very much. And I do have a picture. I have a couple pictures here. And I have I now started work on the on the weapons. So now, like I said before, we're making the master grade perfect strike, and I keep zooming in. I'm trying to go up. No, go up. Thank you. Perfect strike. And I found little tiny nicks here that happened. I don't know where exactly in my painting. I kind of messed up, but like little tiny things like that there. Little ones like here, which I think it just happened when I was probably putting it together. So I'm going to go back and try and fill those in best I can, and then re-top coat it, and then start making the weapons. And the weapons are taking longer than I thought they would, because the ale strike, when you break it down, it's not too complex. It's not that many parts, but it's kind of complexly made, especially when you push things open. They tend to scratch. So I'm trying to find a way where I can max where there's a lot of contact with parts, so that I can open it and still keep the paint from chipping. The only thing I can think of is probably digging out those sections and probably using a lacquer paint, so it's a little bit stronger, and that way it also will glide a little bit smoother, probably with a gloss coat in there, and then matte the outside of it when the armor's on it. Pink primer, I would show you, but I have it all the way over here, and I literally just finished some of it like before I hopped on, so it's a little bit wet. So I'm afraid to move it, drop it, get it on the carpet, and then I would have to contemplate why my life is this way. So
happens all the time, man. Happens all the time.
But yeah, no. So that's what I'm working on right now. I did start another high grade. So this is like I'm working on 3 high grades.
Before you skipped away, I have to compliment you on your choice of grays and whites and subtle grays with this. This looks absolutely phenomenal. Most people would generally just go with the interframe with just like a light or a metallic gray or metallic paint. It's really fascinating that you stuck with just the minute color tones of like dark grays and light grays, and the fact that they harmonize beautifully with the whites, the light grays, and then with a nice subtle red, not a bright red, but a nice muted blue. It has like a nice cool feeling to it. Nothing's really jumping out. Everything is cohesively blending with one another. You know, everything looks really nice. And the same thing with the V-fin. You're not going like with the classic painted like gold. It's like with gold paint. It's a nice like bright. I imagine it's like a orange yellow to it, or it's like a bright yellow.
It's a lemon yellow, but it has a black base underneath.
Yeah.
And then actually, funny you say that. I was watching your video on when you were doing the Faz, and I figured out that if I want to pre-shade yellow, it was probably best if I add a little bit of brown.
That's right.
In there to underput that. So that's why it's a kind of a muted yellow. It's not as bright as it was when I put it on there.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy having Otaku Builder talk about
I'm just saying it because I have built this kit like 3 times. I love perfect grades. And when I see a fellow builder that puts so much heart and soul into this, it just warms my heart to see that you know, you didn't do it like what every other builder normally does when they paint a model kit. You put your own flavor to it, and you can see that with the decals. You can see it with the scribing, which I imagine there is scribing on this. Like I said, I build this kit a lot, and I can see where the scribing is with the leg area, and also around the thighs. Fantastic work.
Thank you very much.
I'm just saying, great.
That's
He
it.
just started airbrushing. This might be his fourth kit. He's airbrushed too. Like he just
wonderful.
That's
Wonderful.
I think Austin's about to retire. Thanks a lot.
This will be my last kit. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful time.
He's gonna go ahead and
Just
ride into the sunset, right? Like Ray Lewis won the Super Bowl on his last game. Yeah,
turn around.
Oh man,
I got the trophies documented. Can't take it away from me. Bye.
Strike to the rafters, baby. Strike to the rafters.
Straight to the rafters.
Absolutely.
But yeah, thank you very much, sir. But yeah, I did. Oh my gosh, am I yeah, I use multiple grades. I try to stay away from gunmetal because I've done gunmetal before. This is like my third time building this kit, and I just wanted to do this one proper. There's like 3 different blues on there. But we're on we're on to the weapons. So the weapons I'm building, I got them all primed up and ready to go. I was waiting on the paints. I did have the paints come in. I think I showed it last time. I do have the Sword Strikes aqueous paint. And thank you, CD, for hitting me up with that video on how to use these. A lot of people have been telling me that I have to treat these differently than Tamiya. I thought it was just the same, but apparently they don't dry as well, and they're more of like out the bottle. Using the airbrush is a little bit weird. So that painting process has started, and then I should be able to finish this sometime next week if nothing else comes up, and then we'll release it as the master grade perfect strike, and we will be done.
Wonderful.
With this kit.
What's the high grade, or is that under wraps?
No, I can tell you the first one is the Mark III, so I started that again, and then the other one was where are you? It is the TR6, but the TR6 Hazel 2, so the one with the giant guns on the back, straight back there. I was talking to Coop actually about this earlier, about the TR6s, and everybody's kind of making, because it was AOZ April and I'm late to the party. But I was like, I want to make probably a different type of TR6, and I want to make this one a little bit different, because everyone else is gonna make the same. But gonna just take my time with that. Not gonna really push myself really to finish it soon. Just gonna have fun with it.
Wonderful.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. It looks good. Any new animes? I'm caught up on Kaiju number 8. Y'all watch Kaiju number 8 yet?
Yes.
Kaiju.
That first episode, I watched the first episode.
Yeah,
Second episode
hooked.
is crazy. Second episode is crazy. Second episode, I thought it was gonna be like a letdown. I'm waiting for like episode 3 to be a letdown. I'm like, all right, they got to come with a letdown. Because episode 2, and I'm not gonna spoil it, but everybody knows the scene I'm probably talking about. If you watched episode 2, and it's like, there we go.
Yeah,
this is what we talking about anime of the year. This is what I've been standing on my soapbox for the last 81 episodes, right? Like, hey, this is when this anime drops. Look out. So
yeah, absolutely.
And I saw Mecha Guy Katsu. He did the breakdown for the model kit, which is the model kit was kind of weird. I don't know if I'll get the model kit because I don't understand when they do a model kit with a whole lot of figure eyes with a whole lot of eyes. Like, why give me a whole lot of eyes if I could only select really 2 of those eyes? Like, I'm not going to peel eyes off to put another set on and save those eyes stickers for later. Yeah, they're stickers.
Oh, they're stickers. They're not watercolors?
No, they're stickered foiled sticker slides. So you peel them off and you put them on the the faceplate, and it's who goes back and peels the eye off to make it look left or right. Like, that's kind of like a waste. They should have
probably hoping you buy more than one.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, I guess so. Theoretically, I mean, it comes with 2 of the exact same faceplates. It comes with 3 head sculpts, so it comes with 2 of the exact same head sculpts. Which I guess if you want to have one looking left and then the other head sculpt looking right or looking straight, you can have those. But I don't know. I'm not picking up the kit. I got the SH Figure Arts pre-ordered. I'm good.
Does it have a cool gun? Because I might buy it and just give you the
no.
Oh, okay.
No cool gun. No cool gun. I wish it did.
I'm
but
sure
that's what we have for
lieutenants or something.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
They're gonna give it because they started introducing the. I'm not trying to they started introducing the characters in episode 2 already. God,
losing over
I'm telling you, I'm trying not to spoil it, but what's the I don't know her. I forgot her name. This is why I gotta watch it multiple times. But the Choo Choo in the book, right? The Choo Choo from Witch from Mercury, that version, she shows up in the episode 2.
That she does.
The Cinderella.
Yeah, and remember earlier, like a couple episodes, I was like, I don't know why people like this type of stuff, and I'm like, after watching her,
There you go.
she's a good character for
Yes,
sure.
she
A good
is.
character. So, let us know in the comments below, people, what y'all been working on, what kits y'all have on the table, what books y'all have, what animes y'all have tuned up or queued up. Other than that, it's been since it's kind of like on a short week, fellas. We can go ahead and skip what's new. I don't think anything really for what's new. Right?
There's a model show, like I said before. There's a model show that's coming up, and Bandai is supposed to apparently release 2 new kits that are already previously announced, but we don't know what they are. I'm not even sure if they're Gundam related. So yeah, they might be. It might be something. Hey, if we get that RRG Pat Labor, I'm right there with you, CD.
I'm okay.
Maybe it's related towards Armor Core because they did do like a news bulletin on one of the 3 cores from the game that are coming out, but they're going to be like, what was it, 30 missions?
30 missions, yeah.
Configuration. I'm kind of bummed out with that, to be honest. Armor Core kits are fantastic, and I know they're really limited when it comes to posability, but they got the money. They could have made it at least a master grade class version of that. In my opinion, I think it's kind of wasted from them doing like a high grade one. But to be fair, high grade quality has got incredibly well done in the last Witch from Mercury lineup. So I can't really knock them too bad on that. But I guess they're trying to test the waters to see if anyone has an interest in Armor Core.
I think what it is too, with those type of kits, especially when you do high grade, you could buy 4, 5, 6 of them and kit bash, right? Because that's the whole purpose of Armor Core, is to build your own mech and kit bash it this way and get these weapons, and so that fits the 30-minute missions. Kind of, it's like what 30-minute missions was supposed to be. I feel like if they would have just dropped Armor Core when they dropped 30-minute missions, it would have probably blew up even more than what 30-minute missions is now. They should have just went Armor Core, 30-minute missions.
Sure.
Well, you have to remember they weren't even sure if Armor Core was going to be successful. That news release went out when the game came out. They said it exceeded their expectations. Bandai actually, as a whole, as a company, has exceeded their expectations between Ace Combat. Yes, I got it into an episode. Armor Core and some other properties. They've shot past their projected revenue.
Especially Tekken 8.
Tekken 8,
yeah.
That took off. I mean, Tekken in general is already a big staple when it comes to a fighting game. If not, probably top 3 fighting game.
I mean, Tekken actually had a bit of a dry spill around Tekken 6 and Tekken Tag Tournament 2.
Classic.
And then one of the producers says, okay, if it's not doing too well, why don't we reboot Soul Calibur? It did very well in the 90s, did very well in the mid 2000s. Let's see if people gravitate towards it. It bombed.
I picked it up.
I did too.
Got my money.
I loved it.
Steelbook edition at that.
I loved it. It's great. And the character customization feature, since we're all builders, we're going to jump on that regardless. So it's a little bit from everyone, but the sales didn't hit the expectations, and it's bricked. They're not going to make any more Soul Calibur. So the fact that they did so well with Tekken 8 with utilizing the new Unreal Engine, which, by the way, looks fantastic on a 75-inch TV, and the game runs phenomenally well with the rollback netcode. And you can play it fine on a controller. If that's not your thing, you can play it on an arcade stick. It's a fantastic experience. So Bandai's doing very well.
Very well. Yeah, and it's crazy. Even though they're doing well, they're still worried about putting out master grade kits. We're getting 2. I know, right?
I don't get it.
We're getting 2 in Armor Core. In Armor Core, there are only like 1 or 2 hero suits essentially. So if they do make master grades, it'll be just that, and you won't be able to customize them. They'll just be fixed with what they are. It's going to be silly.
That's why we have 3D printing.
Yeah,
you can 3D print
in third parties.
Hey, no excuse now not to use 3D printers, guys.
True.
No excuse.
True.
There you go.
Absolutely.
So that's what we have for what's new. Those guys broke it down all the way down. I would not thought this episode would have went fighting games, but I love it.
I didn't get a chance to talk about what I've been working on.
Oh, my bad.
No,
my bad.
Dude, did we? Oh my gosh.
What the hell?
I had a fantastic slice of pizza the other day. I got some chicken teriyaki from Jack in a Box. I got myself a new sandwich when I go to work. So now the workflow is better. No, I'm just messing with you.
Go ahead, big dog. You got
No,
the
no,
floor. No. What you got? What you been working on?
On the anime front, I am watching Kaiju number 8. Love episode 1 and 2. It's looking great. X-Men 97 is killing me. Every episode, it's like a soap opera, and I'm enjoying every aspect of it. Man.
Cyclops monologue.
It's Jesus Christ! Oh my God! It's so refreshing to see something happening in the MCU universe that isn't just catered to just one audience. You know, it's something that we grew up. It's something that we really cherish. It's something that we can relate to even now today, which is really shocking because it was a little sensitive back in the mid 90s, and the fact that it's coming back now, it's very relevant, and I love that. Not only that the animation's on point, the sound effects are great, the music's good. You know, I won't get into too much like characters that are MIA or are now permanently gone, but it's firing on all cylinders. I love what they're doing with the show. You know, if this can correspond very well with the Deadpool movie coming out in mid-July, I'll be happy with that because we need something good in the MCU. I mean, the last thing we got was Loki, and that was phenomenal.
Loki was great.
I mean, I loved it. Wasn't too crazy about the Marvels, but it was an okay film. It was okay.
Yeah, those type of films you got to just take it with a grain of salt. Like,
absolutely,
there's no big name in it really. So just people are, oh my, it didn't live up to Infinity War. Of course, what do you want it to live up to? Avengers?
Yeah.
Like, just take it with a grain of salt, man.
Oh, dude, we're literally coming to the 5-year anniversary.
Yep.
Oh, yep. I feel old.
Yeah.
Wow.
Shoot, man. Who you telling?
Oh God.
Would it be dope if they do an X-Men 97 if they somehow got that Logan into, like, he just fell out of the screen, you know, breaking that fourth wall, right? You know how Deadpool breaks the fourth wall?
Yes.
For some apparent reason, he'll break the fourth wall and it will be the X-Men 97 Logan in Deadpool 3. Wouldn't that be wild?
I have a feeling Deadpool is so wild they already have that, and he's just gonna make a quick joke about it.
Yes,
right. He'd be like, "Why are you guys cell shaded?"
Yeah,
right.
But what any other kits you've been working on, man? I know you're on the anime front.
I mean, kits right now have been on a huge hiatus, but I am working with a collaborator right now. His name is Ao Mecha. I would highly recommend you guys interview him in the future. Phenomenal man. He lives in up north in Canada, and we are working on a Final Fantasy VII Rebirth Kit Bash collaboration project.
I saw that.
So he's doing Barrett Wallace, and I'm doing Cloud Strife. The original plan was I was going to do Cloud Strife, and he was going to do Santhroth, but after we had like a serious sit down, it would have been much more appropriate for him to tackle Barrett because there's a lot of fans that love Santhroth. So if you don't do it justice or you don't do it right, they're going to jump on him, and it's not fair. You know, this is like his 3rd or 4th Kit Bash, and I wanted to be something that he truly wants to like really enjoy. And the wonderful thing about this project, it was supposed to be done in 2 months. It's now into month 4, which is fine because that has given us time to fine tune our videos, add some music that will work with sequences here and there, what works for weathering, what doesn't work for LED lighting, what kind of poses can we work with, what can put like a strain on the model kit we put in dynamic poses. It's been a wonderful collaboration between me and him because it's like a dance. I did something that looks really cool. He does something really cool. We share one another. We're having a bad day at work. I show him something to pick him up. I'm having a crappy day at work. He sends me something that he's working on. I'm having a blast. And the wonderful thing I like about this project is I want to do more with this with other people in the community. Like I was telling Coop, like I want to create a genre where not everyone's stuck in their own like their own little social bubble, their own little quirks and what they do with their content and their own model kits. I want people to come together either in a group of 4s or 2s to really bring something that they really like together and show it to their audience. And I hope these videos come out and really hit on that chord because the editing and the timing that went into working on these videos has been a blast. And I'm so grateful that we didn't release it when we scheduled a release in February because the videos would probably have been good. But honestly, the way how they're looking now, it's like a feature-length film. and
Oh,
we put a
wow.
lot of ourselves into it, because that was like one thing I haven't really been doing with my videos, is putting myself into it. So now I'm at the point heading to the 5-year mark of making content on YouTube. I need to branch away from my little chibi character and now throw myself into the mix, because people will want to know who's behind the camera. They want to know if they can identify with them. Can they live up to their expectations? Can they be like them? And the idea for me putting my stupid face in front of the camera is to tell them, like, anyone can do it. If
Right.
you live on the East Coast, you live in the West, you live in Canada, you live in Japan, the wonderful thing about this community is just sharing your experience as like one cohesive family. And that's the experience I've been getting with AO Mecha for like the last 4.5 months. Like, he's my bro. He's my brother from another mother. So whenever he comes to Cali, we're going to go to a bar and we're just going to sit down and just chill and relax.
And that's all you can ask for.
That's all you ask for, right?
Yeah. That's how us three hooligans came along. And once we all link up, we just go find a bar, and that's what we're going to do.
Yeah, it's
toast to a couple.
It's a wonderful experience. But as for anime, like I said, I'm watching Kaiju number 8. I am jumping back to watching, I guess, season 4 or 5. The time I was turned into a slime. That's a great show.
Yep.
Solo Online. That's a great show. I think I finished episode 12. I'm gonna rewatch it in dub, and then I'm actually just rewatching some old movies. I just finished watching Interstellar like 5 times. Love that movie. I'm a space buff. I love space films, whatnot. Literally finished watching Star Trek DS9 at work. Don't ask how. I did, even though it's not allowed. And as of lately, I've been introducing my son to a lot of different musics. So now he likes trance, he likes techno, he really loves J-pop. And if we're ever watching an anime, he will sit there and just sit there right in front of the TV and watch the intros. And he'll start dancing. And he'll start bobbing and dancing. So I'm like, yes, you have a little bit of mama and papa in you.
That's how it begins. That's how it starts.
Right.
Other than that,
if you have time for a book, Project Tell Mary by Andy Weir. It's a space.
Send me a link to that, please.
Yep.
I'll check it out.
Same guy. I don't know if you've seen The Martian. If you like space movies with Matt Damon,
love it.
So
love The Martian.
The author who wrote that also wrote this Project Tell Mary, and I'll send you.
Please send it to me. Please send it. Is it an Audible? Is there an Audible book? I will listen to it. Love The Martian. Love it.
There it is. And that's what's up. Let us know down below what's new for y'all. I mean, we got my bad Otaku for skipping past it earlier, but we knocked out best of both worlds. So we're gonna go right into kind of like the break up the monotony a little bit before we get into the meat and potatoes of the pod. Just hold that thought. Y'all heard anything crazy or anything out there in the world? I heard this. They are Tesla is recalling all their Cybertrucks.
Yep.
For the pedal.
For the pedal. It is not. Did you know why for the pedal?
Broke off, right?
It could break off, and depending on where your foot is, when it slides off, it could get caught in between panels, and it's going to be accelerating at top speed.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Yo.
So it's not like if your serial number ends with this number. No, it's all of them. It's all of them.
Yo, dude.
People have been waiting years for the Cybertruck too. It's crazy.
Yo.
Yeah.
You would think something as small as that.
And it's apparently it's because of some type of adhesive. It's some adhesive.
Oh, they use dish. Yeah, they use dish soap. That's why I heard. Yeah. So fun fact: if you're working in a factory and mechanics are using dish soap as lubricant sometimes, or even some versions of adhesive, it's actually not an uncommon practice for them just to grab that. I mean, in Boeing when they're making the 737 NGX, not the NGX, it was the Max. So the 737 Max 900, 800. Yeah. They use soaps in some of the joints to secure door fasteners and stuff like that, which nobody brought up. Is it powered by Dawn? I guess. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain. I think we'll make it. What's that smell? It's Dawn fresh. Remember it well. If you can smell it, that means we're in trouble.
But that's not kind of the only thing that was kind of crazy that stuck out to me. Y'all seen anything out there in the world? I know we got the NFL draft that went past. A couple of good picks already. Michael Penix Jr. to the Falcons is probably the biggest surprise already. I can't think of anything else out there in the world that's going on.
Yeah, my Cardinals are going to get nobody, so I'm just going to go hibernate again until it's over.
Well, y'all got Marvin Harrison Jr.
It's not going to help. I'm just going to go hibernate. It's all right. Don't worry. Wake me up when NFL ends.
But no, other than that, that's the only kind of wild thing. So if y'all don't got nothing,
Shohei Ohtani's manager.
The gambling?
Yeah, 40 million.
he got hit with 40 million.
40?
So that's how much money he gambled away. It was like $40 million worth of Shohei Ohtani.
Wow.
40?
Wow.
40 million.
What? Why?
There was a text between him and the bookie. He goes, "Man, I'm not really good at this sports betting thing."
Oh,
You think?
You think?
Where did you find that out? The first 38 million?
damn.
No worries.
$40 million or something.
No worries, buddy. I'll help you out. That's what I was telling about the bookie. Just keep on. No worries. Just you'll hit it once. You'll eventually get to it, man. Don't worry about it.
This is wild.
Just keep placing that bet. It's $40 million. Wow, down the drain. And that's a great way to end. Hold that thought. Let us know in the comments below if y'all heard anything kind of wacko out there. Next up, man, this is the fun part, man. The meat and potatoes of this segment of this episode. We have Otaku Builder in the building, people. Again, if y'all don't know this guy, make sure y'all check out his Instagram, his YouTube, all of his channels. I mean, once if you're listening to us now, if you're listening to us, I already know you're already following Otaku Builder. So
Right.
if you're just for some reason stumbled upon this episode and he was like, what is this? I just started getting into Gunpla. I only follow like 15 people because I started an Instagram yesterday. Who is this Otaku Builder? Check him out on Instagram. Check him out on YouTube. Great work. Great stuff. And this is who we're going to spotlight, of course, for our Creators Corner. So Otaku Builder, you ready for these questions, man?
Please, let's go. Let's do it.
Awesome. First, we're gonna start off, man, is the come up, man. How was the early days of building? Like when you were, started off building, were you always a builder? Did you pick up? Did you drop down? I think for all of us here, we have started, we let go, and we came back. So how was your days?
Well, at the ripe age of 5, I played a lot with Legos, thanks to my mother. And she always knew that I was really fascinated on building things from scratch. So if there was something on TV, let's say Battlestar Galactica, I can make one of the ships out of random cardboard pieces or paper. Or if Back to the Future was on HBO at the time, I would build a DeLorean out of just random boxes. So the desire to want to build things was there until I went into a little hobby shop called Hobby Shack, which was rebranded to Hobby People 10 years afterwards. And the kits that I gravitated more was starships. Now, keep in mind, back in 93, there was no Gunpla. Gundam wasn't even a thing back then. So Batman, Star Wars, Star Trek, model trains, RC racers, even model boats were like a big thing. Gliders were a big thing. Model cars were like the biggest rave. So the itch to want to build other different facets of model kits was like there. But I really gravitate towards Star Wars and Star Trek. That all changed. Once again, I'm throwing my mom in this book. Sorry, Mom. This is your fault. Okay.
Love you, Mom.
She absolutely. She started introducing to us these weird movies. First one was a weird B sci-fi film called Robot Jocks.
Oh, yeah.
Loved that as a kid. Loved everything about it. The mech that was in there was called the Maximoto 14. Mm-hmm. And I already immediately loved it as a kid because red and white are my favorite colors. And I already gravitated towards that. Watching it 25 to 30 years later, I'm like, ooh, the movie's kind of rough. But it got that itch.
Yeah.
it hit that itch for me wanting into robots. And then I started watching more Star Wars. And I got into other B movies like Short Circuit 1 and 2, The Last Starfighter, RoboCop 1 and 2.
RoboCop. Okay, RoboCop. I'm there. Which one, RoboCop?
The itch was right there, man. And I'm so grateful that my mom got me into it. And then she dropped a little gem a couple years afterwards. She was like, hey, oh God, this is where I feel really old. You guys remember Blockbuster?
Yeah,
of course.
Hollywood videos.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
My sister worked there, yeah.
So she came home one day. Me and my brother were finishing watching The Cosby Show. And she was like, "Hey, I got some 2 movies for you. Ever heard of the little movie called The Guyver? Not the anime, the live action Guyver."
Oh,
So this is the one that has Mark Hamill in it. For those who have seen it or are unfamiliar, he was done wrong in that film. But anyway, the Guyver was a big hit. It for me and my brother. It was very violent for what it was at the time. But I'm like, we watched RoboCop. We know what we're getting ourselves into.
Especially RoboCop
one to it. We're good, and we were hooked. So she started getting that. She got us watching Akira again. Pretty impressive animation at the time, especially the dialogue in the very opening part of the movie. My kid brain was like really dumb. There's this opening sequence where you hear this music that goes da da. It's like, wow, it really sets the mood and energy of this universe, and I love that. But me, my dumb brain, it sounds like the guy saying hot dog. Hot dog. I was like, Mom, I'm hungry. Don't make it yourself. So it started there, and it has kept on going more and more. So my interest of building things was there. I also loved drawing as a kid, and then that's when anime started to roll in from middle school to high school. So the biggest things that were available to watch on regular syndication was Second Men Blade, Sailor Moon, Samurai Pizza Cats, to name a few. I think there was one more that came out on UPN. I can't remember what it was, but it was like a very niche anime. But everyone that I talked to, including all my friends in middle school, we just talked about it. Sailor Moon, who cares? It's a girl show. It's what's popular.
Yeah.
We love it. It's great. There's beautiful transformation sequence. There's a monster of the week. Who cares? It's anime. We're getting it. We're digesting it. We're loving it. And then shortly afterwards, when I was in high school, met a good friend named Roger Mindley, and we were just immersed in everything anime related. But the one thing that brought us closer together was Neon Genesis Evangelion. Sorry. We fell in love with the artworks that we would see a lot in news type magazines, which were really expensive back in the 90s. They were like $20-$30.
Yes, sir.
Back then. And so whatever we put money together, we would just buy one magazine together, and we just like, oh, we got to draw this. Oh, I'm gonna take this page out and put it on my wall and use it as inspiration. Like we were hooked on the anime stuff. And then we were like pen pals, right? You know, he would watch something that was on Toonami, so he got me into watching Outlaw Star, and then I gave some movies to him. He watched Ninja Scroll, Rama 1.5, Fatal Fury 1, 2, the motion picture. I mean, I can name dozens of these movies. We were just like pen pals left and right until he dropped a little gem. In the year 1995, we got Gundam Wing, and I was like, Gundam, what? Okay, I'll take a look at it. I'll see it's okay. He's like, bro, no, you're gonna love it. I was like, I don't have time to watch it because I gotta focus on my studies, you know. So back in the day, in order to watch shows like that, he would literally have to jerry-rig 2 VCRs to record what was on Cartoon Network at the time, and then put it onto a blank VHS tape. So that's how I was able to watch the shows. So everything from Outlaw Stars and Rama, I think, Inuyasha and Gundam. But he didn't record the whole entire show. He only recorded the Endless Waltz movie. And I loved it. You know, I was hooked. And then he got me watching, let's see, Gundam X. And then I forget the name of the military one.
Eighth MS-13?
Yes. That one is still like one of my top 5 Gundam series. I love it because it's different. It is sci-fi, but it's on a personal level where these aren't military guys that have been genetically enhanced. They're grunts. They're military dudes. They're like you and me. They got to do a job. They gotta go from point A to B and accomplish the mission. Sometimes it fails, sometimes it doesn't. But the beautiful thing about that show I liked the most was just the character development. I didn't quite get that with Gundam Wing, but something about this show really connected to me. And then there was like a big dropping off point in my mid-20s all the way to my 30s. So I was heavily focusing on college, doing college full-time, doing partial, part-time at random jobs left and right, because I was majoring in game art and design. So I really wanted to follow my art passion and do more on the 3D side and more on the character design aspects. So didn't really focus a lot on Gundam after that. I focused on other shows like Nadisco, Go Danner, to name a few. A lot of ones that stuck out the most for me back in the day were like really awkward shows like XL Saga, like comedy shows, Azumango Daio, Lucky Stars. I get it. They're hokey shows, but you're in college. You need something to take that edge off. You want to smile a little.
Right.
Those shows did it for me, and I have no regrets. I love those shows. I'm going to show it to my kid. You know, and I'm okay with that.
Hey man, slice of life is still one of my favorite genres in anime.
Yes.
Yes.
So no regrets there. So one day I was on my spring break and I wanted to watch some anime. So at that time, YouTube was very vast on whatever you posted on there, full length movies, partial episodes. You know, you can get away with it back in 2014, 2015, back in the day. So
the good old days.
yeah. So at that time, I wasn't really interested in building any model kits because I kind of given up on it. It just lost the interest altogether because there wasn't any video tutorials out there. There wasn't anything that really gravitated towards me. I just didn't really have any interest in doing model kits until I came across a YouTube channel called Robert's Hours, 2 Hours to Be. And he was just a regular dude that just propped up a camera, which was a cell phone, got a model kit, whether it was a high grade, master grade, perfect grade model kit of whatever Gundam genre, and he would just build them and talk about them and tell you the pros and cons, what works and whether you should buy it or forget about it. And I think what really gravitated towards me was just this really cool natural voice. He was just, hey, I'm Robert's 2 Hours 2B, and welcome to my channel, and we're going to talk about the master grade Gundam Exia. And I'm like, okay, you got me hooked. Let me see what else you got. And that was like the first video I watched. It was the master grade Exia. And my biggest complaint with Gundam at the time, and you can ask anyone that I talked to about Gunpla, I was not a fan of the double-slitted mouth. I hated that design for the longest time. So with Double O Gundam, yeah, it's I'm different now. I'm not the same person like I was back when I was 25. I'm 40 now. I look back at 25 version of myself. I'm like, dude, you were too hypocritical on everything. You gotta chill. Okay,
Appreciate it.
just appreciate what you have. Okay, I understand. I get it. So I was really nitpicky. But there was something that really resonated with me with Exia because there was another game that came out around that time called Zone of the Enders.
Yes, sir.
And the art design that Exia was using was heavily influenced from Jehudi. You know, got the one-arm blade, can move very fast and really mobile and agile, really scary kind of stuff that you would never see from an actual Earth-made mobile suit. Something that made was in space can actually pull it off, but at some kind of like fidelity, the way how it moved, it was just beautiful. And then you got the cast got introduced. You got Lock on Strut, you got Setsuna FC. You know, you got the whole thing, what the whole purpose of the GN drive system. What's its purpose? Why is it designed in a way where it's not weaponized? It can be weaponized. What's the purpose of the Gundam? What is celestial being? I was like, I need more of this. It's scratching that sci-fi itch. I want more of it. And you know, I started buying kits left and right, just put them together, do light panel lighting, and then look at them on the shelf, and always pondered to myself, like, how can I get to that same kind of quality, what I see on the box art? Who do I need to follow? Who do I need to watch? And unfortunately, at the time, anyone that was like a big YouTuber were either doing just straight up builds and doing reviews, but they never did any custom painting. And the top dogs that were doing all the custom painting were people in Japan and people that were in Korea. And the problem with that at the time, there was that big language barrier. If there was general questions that you want to ask them, whether it's like LEDs, what's good, lacquer base versus acrylic, how can I do weathering, what's the best primer, Mr. Hobby or Tamiya or anything in between, there was always a language barrier with that. So I knew right then and there that I need to learn this stuff on my own, you know, free time. And the wonderful thing about it at the time, I was going to college, so I already had the skills of paint theory. I know how to paint and primer things. I've already taken like 3 advanced class of advanced sculpting. So I've already done 4 classes of advanced 3D modeling. So I kind of have a good idea on what I need to do. I just need to find a way on how to implement what I know from college to apply it onto a model kit. And that upon itself was really difficult for like 3 years plus. Because I didn't know what was the proper procedure. I mean, I say this a lot, and I'll say this again. I remember when I built the perfect grade Millennium Falcon, I was very happy with it. Weathering, paint application was perfect, but I forgot one important crucial detail when you paint a model kit. And what do you guys think that is?
Top coat.
Top coat.
Very close. Primer.
Oh,
I didn't prime it.
Oh, so
Yeah.
the coat was there temporarily, essentially.
Yes.
Ah.
So
weathering looked good. It looked
the
good
weathering
right
was
now.
like, yes, masterclass. It looks amazing. I got my own perfect grade Millennium Falcon, fully weathered. Hey, Otaku Builder, you didn't apply primer, so in the next couple of years, that thing's gonna fall off. You know what? It's in the garage. It's fine, but that small little detail that I didn't take in consideration really kicked me in the butt. So I'm like, okay, I got to change my game up and pay attention to what I really need to do to make this look professional looking. So 2 years, heavily focused on painting, stuck with acrylic base paint for the longest time. Tamiya, Missions paint, and I kind of dabbled a little with Mr. Hobby paints, but not too much because around that time I was very sensitive towards lacquer base paint. It would just trigger a migraine. So I stayed away from it. But as time progressed, building these model kits, I'm like, cool. I know pre-shading. I know base coat. I know flat coat. I know gloss coat. What's the next best thing when it comes to building model kits? And that's when I got into the world of putting LEDs in model kits. And once again, same kind of situation. There's no content creators that do it. There's only a handful of people that do have like that knowledge of putting LEDs into model kits. And LEDs themselves at the time were like these 3mm bulbs. Chip LEDs weren't a thing at the time. So if you did put an LED in a model kit, you would either permanently prevent it from putting it in any kind of action pose, or you just end up damaging it altogether. Right. So that took months and months of research to try to find a perfect manufacturer that made the right kind of LEDs that would work for me, because you have to deal with the lights, you have to deal with the temperatures of the lights, and then you have to deal with the capacitors that come with the lights. So the wonderful thing is I came across a company called Evans Designs, which, by the way, I've been working with them for like almost, I would say going to be 5 years next month. And they make a fantastic product. It's easy to work with. You can put into any kind of model kit that you desire. And if anything breaks, damaged, or falls apart, they will happily send you a replacement free of charge. And just overall, they're a mom and pop shop. Number one, you should always support mom and pop shops. And they were there with me during the dark times around the pandemic. So when you were stuck at home and you couldn't go anywhere and the only thing you can get was anything online, they were very nice enough to make sure that I got the supplies I needed to make content for everyone on YouTube or on Instagram, because that's what I started. I started Instagram before I migrate over to YouTube, because everyone has that fear, like, is my video not going to do well? Is it not going to be popular? Does it live up to everyone else's expectations? You got to take a leap of faith. I tell this to anyone when you're making content. Everyone has their own identity on what they want to, develop and put out there for content. If it's not working the next first 10 or 5 episodes, then you got to change it. You got to modify it. I remember when I was putting my first 5 or 6 episodes, I would have my goofy fox Otaku Builder character on the left-hand side. People didn't like that. I thought it was cute. But it kind of teetered on the edge. Is this more for little kids, or is this more for adults, or is it for adults and teenagers? So you got to find like the perfect middle ground, right? You got to find the middle ground and that's why I just took it off, and I ended up just sticking my voice in front of the videos, for the last foreseeable 4 years afterwards. And now I'm at that echelon point where I'm like, okay, I got to evolve the quality a little bit more. So what can I do to improve it? Stop shooting on the camera for once, start investing into a nice DSLR camera that shoots 4K or a really high res 1080p, get a better microphone. I used the Blue Yeti for many, many years, but it wasn't giving me the kind of quality that I want. Yeah, my baby. Oh, it's still in the closet. I'm not getting rid of that. I love that microphone, but that was like a big investment. And then audio equipment came, the right kind of video editing software. I ended up sticking with Sony Vegas because I couldn't afford Premiere. From what I've told everyone told me that Premiere is the best one to use. Sony Vegas is just fine. And then, the rest is history.
That's what's up, man.
The rest is history. Since then, I haven't been really producing content at a high volume like I have been because of my new job. Well, it's not new now. It's like 2 years going into it. But I know that being in this situation where I work has really put the brakes on making any kind of content for my audience. So I'm hoping to change that in the next 3 months and getting back into it. Because I miss video editing. I miss making content. I miss talking to the community. It's very therapeutic for me. And I just overall it's really hard to say this, but there was a point in time where I just didn't like socializing with people. And that dude, like that disappeared like after going through one interview after another, or reading people's direct messages on Instagram, and I'm gonna call it Twitter. I'm not calling it X. It is what it is. But I got so much like of a big morale boost from just reading those messages. I'm like, okay, I have something that works. Need to commit to it. It's not about the money. It's not about what's hot or what's not. What can I do that can make the audience get into this wonderful hobby without breaking the bank and without being persuaded because, oh, this is the next hot thing. You need to buy it. But what if you can't? There's other wonderful kits in the marketplace that can still give you that itch.
Absolutely.
And that's why I focus more heavily on other third-party model kits. So it's been a wonderful ride. I'm continuing enjoying this roller coaster as much as I can. I'm going to enjoy it to the point because now my son has an interest in it. So he loves seeing Papa come in the office, doing his work, whether I'm live streaming or editing. He likes seeing the process, how I'm tweaking and modifying things. I haven't really shown him anything from model kits because it's a hazard zone. There's a lot of harmful chemicals in there. So I don't got everything set up in there. But when I publish my videos on YouTube and I put it on YouTube Premiere, he is like literally glued in front of the TV and he watches it. So I only wish I had that as a kid. When my father wasn't really around because my mother pretty much raised me and my brother, which is really unfortunate. But it's those little seeds. That's what starts it. And that's what got me hooked as a kid. My mom got me the movies. She introduced like model kits shortly afterwards. Music became a very big thing for me in my mid-20s. Got into art. Art teetered at a point, maybe depressed because I got tired doing commissions for other clients that just didn't know what they want. I came back to model kits literally 25 plus years later, and it's like the best thing that's ever happened to me. It has literally changed me as an individual because you're not the same person 25 years ago. I mean, spiritually you kind of are, but on a cellular level, you're not the same person like you were. Like I was a chunky man back then, and now I've lost my skin complexion because I've been more indoors more than I can possibly can. I'm eating more healthier. I'm more focused on my mental and physical health more than I ever have been, and I'm just trying my best to be like the role model that my son needs in his life. I'm trying.
We're gonna let you know now, big dog. You're not trying. You are. We're gonna let you know that right now.
Sure.
You are that role model because CD has the daughter. I have a daughter. You have a son.
Okay. I feel great. Okay. Okay. Like I was telling Coop, I wish I met you guys last year because I was losing it. Man.
It's tough, especially having kids that want to dabble into the hobby because they see you do it, like how you said your son watches you do it, and my daughter, since she could probably speak a word, she was on YouTube doing toy hunt videos with me and stuff like that. So what you're doing,
you seen the sticker, Chloe's dad. That's all because of her. So.
Please send me I will slap that everywhere in my factory that I work at. I don't care. I'm literally 3 months away from quitting that job. If I can promote free, I'll do it. I'm very happy to do it.
So, what are all these stickers everywhere? Why are they on the ceiling?
Chloe's dad. CD gets a cease and desist order. Like, hey,
there's daddy in here.
We'll figure this out.
Absolutely.
But yeah, you're not trying, big dog. You are that role model, and keep it up, especially because I see the crib back there. So that's always that's always like the great side of doing these type of interviews or talking to someone when they're able to see the human side of it. When people can see,
Right.
man, it's not just model kits, right? I have a daughter, you have a son, we have kids. It's making sure they're good and letting them know they can look at us and say, okay, I want to do something. If it's coloring in a coloring book, if it's drawing, if it's the Legos, whatever the case may be. So keep it up, man. Keep it up. Absolutely. Our next question, Austin, go ahead and ask away, man. We got this one tuned up for him. So
yeah, so how do you plan your projects? I mean, is there like do you sit down and some people sit down and have a whole itinerary of what they're going to do? Some people wing it on the fly and say, whatever happens, happens. We're getting that destination. I don't know what destination, but we're getting there. Right. So how do you go about planning your projects?
I wing it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, I wing it. I kid you not. Kit bashing, there's no plans. I have a general idea what kits I want to use. I incorporate them. Some work, some fail, some just surprise you. The one thing I always keep in mind is not to go past my spending budget. So on an average, when I work on a model kit, I usually keep it like under $150 to $200, which is reasonable. Kit bashes tend to exceed past that point because maybe there's a part that you like, maybe a weapon accessory that you know that will work, and then somehow it just works. But you also have to just constantly be mindful of your finances. So the only part that really takes the forefront of planning is video editing. That's that part. I literally have to write a script. I have to make sure what angles I apply to the videos. I got to make sure how everything just flow cohesive with one another. What music flows one scene to another. Something that's punchy, something that's more serene, something that tells a story. And I take those and then I incorporate them back into the model kit. So what if I'm building something like, say, if it ever happens, Bandai, I'm looking at you. Give me a perfect grade Barbados. I'm not joking.
Ooh,
I'm not joking. Okay. So if it came to something like that, I know what kind of whites I would definitely go with. I know what kind of weathering methods I would love to apply to it, whether I use oils, maybe some water-based paints for the weathering, for the chipping effect. I definitely use lacquer-based paints because that's a higher durability. Choices of LEDs I would definitely apply to that, and also areas that would have plenty of cavity space. I would definitely need to plan out a spot where I would actually need a higher power supply, so that way you don't have to get stuck with the nasty dongle that sticks out of the model kit. That right there is the biggest challenge when it comes to planning for a model kit. Is I'm building a master grade. Are there any parts to this where I can hide the power supply? I can't. Okay. What do I need to do to make sure there's not a dongle sticking out of it? Okay, just put an entry point that's a male or female connector, and then make sure it's connected to a USB port. Okay, that hard part is done. Now, how many volts that need to go applying to the model kit? 3, 5, 12. Can't be too high, can't be too low. So now you have to take into the factor how many LEDs you want to put into the model kit. So this is going to become a big shocker to you. The most I've ever put into a model kit was close to 175. Not a Gundam. Not a Gundam model kit. This was the Star Trek USS Enterprise refit.
Yep.
Now, like I mentioned in the past, Star Trek plays a big part of my life. It is what got me into the sci-fi genre, and I wanted something that not only shows that my skills have reached the next level, but I want something that my son can look back and say, like, you built that model kit in the living room that looks just like what you saw in Star Trek the motion picture. How did you do it? And hours upon hours upon hours rewatching that movie front and back, the highest quality I can possibly watch in 4K. That was there available on Paramount Plus. I said that's not good enough. I need to buy the 4K Blu-ray version of that. I was stuck in front of that TV for hours on end, just taking notes. What kind of strobe lights I need to apply? Does the Aztec need to be bright? Does it need to be soft? Which version of the model kit am I going to correspond with? This is going to be the motion picture, Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, Star Trek III, The Search for Spock. Am I going to go the Enterprise from Star Trek 6, The Undiscovered Country? And at that time, when the films were being made, not every Enterprise was designed the same. Some had very fluorescent Aztecs, some had soft grays. So now you have to decide which one really fits your preference. And for me, the motion picture always stood out because the fluorescent Aztec was just such a wonderful add-on to that, and it just works. And then when you apply the LEDs behind that, that comes the next challenging part. So now you have to make a whole list. What parts of the starship has strobes? What has blinking lights? What is what's going to be like a light that is like funneled in a way where it lights up, say, the secondary hull insignia of the Federation? You know, how are you going to do that? What kind of LEDs are you going to apply? What's your power supply consumption? So that process took. This is when I started working at my factory gig, Amazon, on the first 3 months. So juggling working full time, staying consistent of making that video, plus dealing with a pregnant wife that needed my support, was a challenge upon itself. So every time I was at work, I would take my Galaxy Note 3, write down some notes where I need to improve upon it, see what kind of paints I need to get for fluorescence that wouldn't saturate or fall apart over time, and then put one foot in front of the other and then keep on going. But then light comes into a factor where you can't always stay consistent with it. So I had to deal with, working a full-time gig because my wife worked at the same factory I worked at. She was laid off. So now there's more responsibilities applied on top of me. I was at the time we were literally remodeling, refixing our house. And then there's the coping aspect of going through this new sensation of pain on my feet, and then the depression I got working at the factory, because they treat you as a number. Don't let anyone misinform you. Like, you're Amazon, you're part of the team. We're here as a family. That is a lie. You are a number.
And you always be a number.
And as soon as you grasp that and you understand what you need to do with your life, get out. Put in your 2 to 3 years. Look for other opportunities. That's what I'm going to do. And that's what happened when I'm working there right now. Is just I don't want to come home to my wife as a broken man that isn't motivated to make any content anymore. Because right now we as content creators are going through this, I guess you can say, renaissance. There's a lot of content creators that are just straight up quitting. They're not motivated at all to make content. I get it. Video editing, it's not for everyone, but for me, I love it. It's fun. It's an extension of you. It is part of your essence. It's your identity. You like doing wacky, cool zoom in and zoom out effects. You like to do pan shots left and right. You like to do vlogging. That's your identity. That's what you have, that you connect with your audience. And that's one thing I always try to apply with my videos. Like, this is an extension of myself, but I want to let you guys know that this is the one phrase I love in Ratatouille. Anyone can cook. Anyone can build. Anyone can paint. Anyone can put LEDs in the model kit. You just need to have that one step and put in front of the other to make the commitment. And when you do that, the doors open up for you. I can't tell you how many times I've been getting requests to do commissions, and I turned them all down because I still right now don't feel like I'm at the best from it right now. I want to get better.
There you go.
I really do want to keep on doing these really cool elaborating projects, and that's why I'm doing this Kit Bash project with another content creator, because no one's doing it. It is such a missed opportunity that you can take two people that have the exact same skill levels, and you can show it to everyone on your own platform. Everyone gets cake. Everyone can eat.
That's our memo.
That's our motto. Everybody eats.
Everybody eats.
Everyone eats.
There it is.
God, that got really preachy. I'm sorry.
No, it's good, man.
Good.
We love it.
That's the dad part kicking into me now.
If I could say two things real quick. My father is also a Trekkie. So I grew up on a healthy dose of Star Trek my entire life, and I can say that I can say that that
Star Trek Voyager. It was on UPN. It was the only thing I can remember from growing up. It was 1 o'clock in the morning. Star Trek Voyager.
I bet you only saw one episode of Deep Space Nine and turned it off.
I remember the promos for Deep Space Nine.
I'll be real with you. I didn't like DS9 for the longest time.
Yeah,
and I loved it after season 3.
Yep.
I'm like, this show is a gem.
It's very different. It tries
It
to be
really
very
is.
different, and you're like, yeah, what? No, and you look at the Enterprise leave. You're like, no, come back.
Yes,
Everyone
it's
here
true.
is mean.
It's
Nobody here
true.
likes each other. But no, my dad's a Trekkie, so and I'll say that the original those original Enterprise model kits made for the show, those model makers back then, in my opinion, are the true like apex, like
Absolutely.
like
ILM.
yeah, just amazing quality. And I always say, I always tell people too, when I see an Enterprise at a show or something like that, I'm like, that took time. Somebody's trying their best, and that is a true showcase of if you find one that's perfect, it's a true showcase of a masterpiece, because
It really is.
the Enterprise is no joke. You think 5-star stories is tough? The Enterprise is no joke, guys.
It's true.
Yeah, and yeah, dude, their numbers working place got a jet. I mean, literally,
Absolutely.
they gave me an employee number. One day they just said 55985. I was like, I'm an iPad.
Yes.
I'm out.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I feel you there, man.
Absolutely. CD, what you got for him next, man? When it comes to the process for him.
So you gave us the breakdown of the process. Do you have a favorite part of the process? Was it the video editing portion of it, or
video editing is definitely part of it? Painting, definitely. I think the most part I love the most about it is just being in that moment, taking that box out, looking at the parts, and then just snipping one runner out of another, and then really thinking to myself, what color scheme can work, what paints that I need to apply to this, and then I just put the pedal to the metal. You know, the best part about model kitting for me is the paints. Do I want to work with acrylic? Do I want to work a lacquer base? What's durable? What looks better? What's cool and warm? What's affordable? You know, again, I'm gonna say this a lot. You know, even though we have a backlog and we buy things that we like, you know, you should always pay attention to your finances.
Absolutely.
Because, you know, you will have times in your life where you'll have that model kit in your backlog and you'll just end up giving it away. Impulse buying is now, it's a no. But the paint application is by far my favorite part, because that was something I struggled a lot when I was in college, especially when it came to character design and character posing and doing 3D modeling. So I guess you can say preparation is the one thing I like. It's just prepping everything. It's the
fun part, right?
It's just everything.
Juices are going.
Yeah,
because it's the creative, probably the most creative you could get, because once you start the preparation, once you start going, you kind of like, okay, now it's going to be kind of step by step. But before all that going, like, oh man, I could do this, I could do that, I could apply this, I can apply that. I got the runner. I don't think people, like, this is one thing I slept on in the community. Cracking open a fresh plastic when you open a model kit, like you open up that runner pack, and that is one of the most satisfying sounds.
The slow reveal of the box, just taking
yeah.
Oh man, it does the body good. It's like milk. So what's like the least favorite part of the process, man? What's the part you're like, you know what, this is, I kind of dread this?
I mentioned earlier that I was watching Interstellar. So I have a question for you guys again. What is the biggest theme in Interstellar?
Time.
Bingo.
Time. Oh, Austin.
Sorry, I've seen that show. Austin. I've seen that movie a bunch too.
Yeah. That is the one thing that kills me every time. Like I mentioned before, like the Kit Bash project that I'm working on was supposed to be done 3 months ago. It's going to 5 months now. But the good thing is the videos are premiering. One's premiering this week, one's premiering next week. But the time that was invested into it, it was more than just the model kit. It was actually building a true bond with my collaborator, if that makes any sense. You know, I knew him for who he was as an Instagrammer or a YouTuber. I got to know the real AO Mecha, and I'm like forever grateful for that. The privilege of working with them, and I hope he understands it too. But time's my biggest enemy. It is the one thing that really hurts me the most, because now I can't work on model kits 4 to 5 days a week. It's now 4 to 5 months. Not even hours. not even hours. Like sometimes, like I said, the job I work at just depresses me to the point where I'm just like, I'm not motivated to do anything. I just want to sit down. I want to recover. I don't like this pain that I'm feeling. If I can just get the strength right now to spend time with my family, just give it to me and I'll take it.
Yeah.
So that has been such like the biggest crutch for me right now. And I get it. It's one of the things you have to really take in consideration when you become a father. You know, you got to be there to support your family.
Absolutely.
But it hits the climax to the point where if I continue what I'm doing, there won't be a father around.
Yeah.
So I know what I need to do. It's a big risk, but not at the point of not being around for my family.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
That's what's up.
Exactly.
And that's when you have to, that's when that's real.
Mhm.
If anything else, people that y'all hear from this video, that's probably one of the realest things. Man. Earlier you touched on this. This kind of goes into our next question. I'm going to assume, right, the Millennium Falcon is probably the project you want to redo if you could redo one. But I was going to assume because it was that young Otaku Builder, right? And now you could go back. If you could pick one of your projects, you say, you know what, I want to give it justice. I thought I gave it justice back then. You know, I was hyped when it came out, as always. But going back, looking at it, I can do it better. And that project is what?
You know, well, starters, that is a really good guess. That's a really good. Unfortunately, I've already built the Millennium Falcon. That was with the Star Wars Solo film. So that's a good one to end that era. So I'm very happy that I actually had the opportunity to build it again, even though it's a different variant.
Okay.
If there was, let me think. I've rebuilt many kits in my career being a content creator. A lot of them have been perfect grades. Most expensive ones that have been in my library a lot. But if there was one currently that I would love to go back and redo it and have nothing but time and energy into it, it would be the Enterprise D. I only built the saucer section a little bit over 5 months ago, but it was like a test to see if the general audience would have an interest to see more of it. And unfortunately, no one didn't really care. And that was kind of like a big downer for me. But I know that over time, the video will build up to the viewership later on as the video gets more popular. But as I was sitting down one day, I was looking at this. The saucer section looks beautiful. I did a great job on the Aztecs. The LED work is perfect. But there are some details on the molding that isn't show accurate. Keep in mind, when they were working on this ship, they had two different I think 3 or 4 different variants. They have the big one, they have the small one, and they have a really small one. So each variant has different details that isn't cohesive with one another. So what the Enterprise looked like in the TV show, it looks drastically different from its counterpart from Star Trek Generations, the movie, where the Aztecs are very bold and bluish and gray. In the movie, they're a little bit more softer blue, a little softer grays. So if there was one thing I would love to do is go back is just keep the saucer section as it is, but maybe redo it just slightly, and then invest what I learned in the last 4 to 5 months and build a secondary hull. There are resin parts that are very show accurate that are available to build the model kit the way how it is in the TV show. But after really rethinking it, I don't think the model kit would be done properly well done. I wouldn't give it the right kind of justice it deserves, because I'm thinking in the mindset of new builders. You bought this kit because you saw a content creator do it, but I can't spend X amount of money to get those resin parts or those LEDs. What do I need to do what I have that's readily available? So that's the reason why I'm going to take what I learned right now and incorporate into that. So all the resin parts that I invested like $70 to like $130 in, I'm not going to use it. It's not fair. So I'm going to go back to the drawing board. I'm going to use whatever whatever runners that are there for the model kit. I'm not going to use the clear bits that come with it, because that particular mold is very expensive to find. Like, they literally just molded that Enterprise 3 months ago. So now it's readily available. It's like $80, but the clear one was like $300. Very expensive, because they weren't mass producing anymore. They stopped.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So my brain's like, just do like what you did with the Enterprise E. Drill out every single hole that you think that would actually have lighting into it. do the Aztec correctly, like how you envision it, and then complete the project. Because it's haunting me. It still haunts me to today. I need to get back to work on it because there are people that generally like it. I get asked questions a lot. Hey, are you going to build the Enterprise? I will, eventually. It's just life. Life right now is just kind of difficult right now. I can't focus on it right now. I just can't. Right now, this video that I've been working with my collaborators eat up a lot of my free time. So as soon as that's done, all it's going to be free.
That's it.
I can't wait.
Well, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. When we come to this next question, this is kind of more of like getting more into know you, Austin. You can take this one away too, brother. Well, just try to get to know you a little bit more.
Yeah. So, like, who do you look up to, and who inspires you to keep going? Some characters in the game. Like for I'll tell you right now. For me, you were probably one of the first video I've ever saw that got me back into Gundam, because I was trying to figure out why my paint stuff didn't turn out well. And I realized, I don't have an airbrush and I don't do pre-shading. And I remember watching yours and I was like, well, let me just copy what this guy does exactly. Right. And it still didn't turn out too well. So, but I almost got there. I'm getting there. But who do you look up to?
There is one man. His name is Rick. He doesn't do Gunpla building anymore. He's a graphics designer. He lives in France. But at the time, he was really, really good at putting LEDs in the model kits. So we're good friends. But when it came to him going back to doing model kits, he kind of hit a dry spell, had a really bad breakup. So he just kind of given up on it altogether and focusing on his mental health, which is great. Like I mentioned before, Robert's hours, 2 hours to be. He's another content creator, but he doesn't. He doesn't make content anymore like he used to because he's a father now. So a lot of his attention is now on his kids. Let me think. There aren't any other big Instagrammers or YouTubers that I follow religiously to get that morale boost. I think if anything that gives me that itch, that push to want to do something with the community, it's just the community itself. Like I mentioned before, Ao Mecha, he did a kit bash of the Samus Aran power suit from Metroid. That legit got me excited because he had one little crucial piece, which was the helmet that looked exactly like the power suit. And I told myself right then and there, I got to do a Metroid Dread kit bash.
And you killed it.
And thank you.
That was the first ones I seen of yours, and I was like, oh yeah,
thank you. Yeah, so I would say the community itself gives me the energy to want to make content. It's not just one individual; it's everyone that's around. Like you gentlemen right here, you've given me the opportunity to talk with you on your platform. That gives me so much more confidence in the future to do my own podcast and talk with other people in the community as well. It won't happen overnight, but it's those little stepping stones that keep that energy to go, forward. And I like that. The only thing I would love to give a shout out to people that actually have been my I'm trying not to cry about this. The one that has literally supported me from the beginning to the end is my sweetheart, Light. And I'll say it because she's going to watch this video. Baby, I love you. I love you so much. Thank you for putting up with all my smelly paints. Thank you for being there through the dark times of our life. Thank you for making me a father. And I am so blessed with that.
That's what's up.
She's been there for me because even when I was doing YouTube full time and she was working her security gigs at these big events here in LA, she was like, "Oh yeah, you go do your thing with YouTube. I'll support you. Just make sure you pick me up from work." Great. No problem. So yeah, it's just one thing after another. She's my rock, as my buddy here mentioned from our pre-conversation yesterday. She is my rock.
Yeah.
And I can honestly tell you right now, I wouldn't be the person I am now, because when we first dated back, we were in high school. We only dated for about 3 years. She ended the relationship. because I wasn't mature enough.
Mhm.
You know, I was still a kid, 25. You kind of still are a kid. You don't know anything what's happening in the world. And then 5 years later, we reconnected. You know, we started slow. We became great friends all over again. Then one thing happened to another, and we got back together. And I've known her for 25 years. Going to be fun. 25 years now. We've been together for 15.
Sheesh. Beautiful.
So
Yeah, absolutely. I love it.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. Like, so that, which is a great segue into the next question. I think CD could definitely look and talk to more about this one as well, being a father.
Yeah, you hit it right on the nail on the head. You know, like how's your family, you know, view your hobby? How does it play into it? But you even talked about, you know, your son's getting into it. Your wife's been the rock of it. But I love it, man, because it's the family support too. Because
it's been a rough 2 years, man.
Yeah. Well, tell us about it, brother. Tell us about it. You know.
Oh no, it's just life in general. Sometimes you plan things out the way you want it. You know, layoffs happen. You know, politics become a big thing in whatever social group you're in. People become not friends. People become fake friends. People don't understand who you are and what you are. People want to procrastinate on how you do things in your life. And I mean, here's the thing. Like for me, it's, you know, you want certain people to be the role model in your life, but they're not the role model you believe they are. If that makes any sense. You know, like just going to put that out there. You know, when we had our kid, the first thing I want out of it was my father to like spend time with them because he lives with us. He doesn't make the effort to do it. He doesn't sit down with them, doesn't get to know his personality. I think there's some dark parts in his mind where the reason why he doesn't really fully accept him for him being the family is because he doesn't carry the legacy of his name. And that's a shame. You know, you shouldn't peg your extended family by the fact that they don't have a Roman numeral to their name. That's just sad. But the sad part about this is, but at the same time, it's kind of a revelation for me. Is just I'm knowing the kind of person he really is, and it sucks. But he's going to be who he is. I can't change him for who he is, and I just have to work with it. The best part about the situation right now is I still got the support from my wife's mother, my mother-in-law. I reconnected with my mother during the pandemic. We have a wonderful working relationship, so she's been the bread and butter to give us advice what we need to do with our kid, especially when he got sick 3 months ago, caught a nasty stomach bug. He's doing better now. You know, you expect all these people that you know in your life that would just come together and help you, but now there's like this rift. Yeah, I can't tell you how depressing it feels at times, but you learn to work through it. Yeah, you know, and you know, I talk to buddies that know me in the community and get advice from them. I take the frustration out when I go to work. I apply that negativity when I work on a model kit because I know it'll turn to something positive. You know, it's the one thing. That's what I love about this hobby, dude. Man, it's just you don't truly understand how therapeutic it really is until you see the finished product. And
every time,
I love it. You know, like I literally went to the garage and picked up one of my all-time favorite kit bashes, and I'm looking at it right now, and I'm like, how the hell did I do that?
It's a different place, a different mindset, man. Like, a different person.
Like what was my mindset? What got me hooked to do this? And I'm like, oh, I know why. I was going to become a dad. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
So,
does your wife, is she into models as well? Does she watch anime?
Dude, she's the one that got me into all the weird, quirky animes. All of them. All the isekais, all the romantic comedy ones. I was a dude that liked nothing but action and explosions and very little character development. Now I thrive on all three of those. You know, Sword Art Online, love it. Attack on Titans, 10 years, dude. Been watching that for 10 plus years, and now it's done. Oh,
what are you supposed to do now?
It feels like it feels like we all went to college, dude, and we all graduated. We made it to the very end. Like, Jesus.
That vitamin C song should be playing right now.
Right.
And the real journey was the friends you made along the way.
Yeah. Like you found the One Piece or something finally. Jeez.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Well, they're remaking that, so you get to do it again.
Yeah, well, there you go.
That would be good because I still haven't gotten into One Piece. I'm
Hey,
still.
same.
I mean, Dragon Ball
Same.
all the way. I'm loving what they're doing with the show now, especially what they're at in the manga. Whew. I'm loving it. Absolutely loving it. But yeah, she's the one that got me into anime. She dabbled a little bit in model kits, but she gets more gratification when she sees her husband on the TV, shown amongst everyone that's interested in the hobby. And then here's the wonderful thing. If my video doesn't appeal to her interests, or there's something that looks really off, if it's like an audio that's off or music that doesn't work for a certain scene, she's literally my executive producer.
Oh, yeah.
She literally is. I will literally have her come over here. Hey, babe, can you please listen to the soundtrack to see if it works with the scene? Nope, take it out. Too dubsteppy. Something that's more soft. Something that's a little bit more upbeat. And then lower the volume down just a tad because I can't hear your smooth voice during the music. So tone down just a smidge. I'm like this. He's like, oh, yeah, you're good.
Like a radio.
Love it.
Like,
Yeah.
are you
the teamwork
Keith
that makes the
Sweat?
dream work, man?
Yes. Yes.
That's the teamwork that makes the
Absolutely,
dream
man.
work.
And that's what why we do it, man. And when you have the backing of the family, and it takes that stress off, because you get, when you sit down, you come home from work, like we all do. We come home from work, man. We've been up since 5 in the morning, 4 in the morning, whatever the case may be. And you know that now that you don't have to worry about, like, hey, I'm about to go build, I'm about to go paint, I'm about to go do whatever. And you know that's not a problem, right? That's not going to be an issue. And it's that you don't have to worry about
ammunition for later.
Yes, absolutely. So we're going to go into that, like, kind of our fun questions, man. That was kind of like the most serious side. Again, we have a Otaku Builder in the building. We appreciate him coming through. Brother, here we go. If you could build one grade of kit, what would it be?
Perfect grade.
Perfect grade.
Just
Easy.
perfect grade.
No thought.
I love perfect grades. Perfect grades. I love it. It's just there's you're building your toy that you love.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't touched on that recently. Like, for the longest time in my early 20s, I collected a lot of collectible figurines, but not just any collectible figurines. It was something that encouraged me to put these kits in dynamic poses. Now, it's something I really touch on a lot in my videos. I don't like building just static model kits or having just static collectible figurines. I want to pose them. And perfect grades give you that, flexibility. The one perfect grade that actually is the best, in my opinion, is the Strike Freedom Gundam. Incredible. It's like an actual physical human being. You can pose it in any form or shape you want. You want a hero pose? You got it. You want a dynamic anime kick? You got it.
And if you did it now, Austin has been on the fence. And I think he done kicked him right over, dog. He was like, look, I'm about to get this perfect grade Strike Freedom. I'm like, he's like, I don't know, man. I might. It was in Hobbytown. He's like, there's 2 left. I'm about to go get it. And I think it's about to be purchased.
Yeah,
It might be.
I say do it because I have built every single perfect grade except for 2. And I don't feel the need to build the other 2 because they're not going to give me that itch that I want.
What 2 are those?
It's the perfect grade Zaku, the pink and the green one. They're exactly the same thing, just very subtle armament pieces, very subtle. And I think, let me think. Oh, those were the only 2. Yeah, I think those are the only 2 perfect grades. I built almost everything except for the Strike Freedom Rouge?
Oh, the Strike Rouge. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's no point of building that. It's Strike Freedom, just with a different color scheme. There's no waste to it.
The only real add-on, they threw in the Sky Grasper in there to try to tempt people to say, hey, if you want a Sky Grasper, you have to buy this other Strike. Mm-hmm. And everyone's just like, dude, why did you do that, Bandai? And they were like, it's Bandai. That's right.
Mm-hmm. yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just it's rough, but we are like so overdue for a perfect grade. We got the Unleashed 5 years ago?
About that.
Come on.
Yeah.
We need that itch. And I would love to get a PG Aerial Gundam. It won't happen.
No.
Right.
And the thing is, Aerial Gundam, or I should say, Witch from Mercury. By the way, I would just honestly say it's a great show. I love it so much. Last episode was a bit hit or miss, but it still had a nice little ending to it. But besides that, the mech designs are fantastic. The orchestral score in the show is just great. I got the whole soundtrack on my phone, dude. I listen to it every day. And just the character dynamic between the two girls, it's not force. It's not written like a very tropey like anime. They're gonna fall in love. They don't know if they're in love with one another. No, it's a friendship. And in that friendship, they are legally bonded to get married, and they actually follow through with it. So it's a nice little bow at the very end. I like that, and I know this was something that was very, very, very critical that Bandai was trying to do, because they were thinking it was going to favor like other groups versus other groups, whether they were lesbians or not lesbians. No, they're just wonderful friends that just love being with each other, and they commit to it at the very end, and I love that. So why not capitalize on that hype and make a perfect grade Aerial? And we're not going to do it because Bandai, in my opinion, has really been dropping the ball on their LED technology. They did a wonderful job with, let's see, Perfect Grade Exia, Unicorn Gundam. Oh boy, I got a gripe with that. Oh,
Hey.
I want to talk about that. Let's just say I don't like the other variants that do with Unicorn. There, I said it. I don't like that. There's like 5 different variants of Unicorn Gundam. Just give us what the one. Put the RGBs in it. There was no need to cough up hundreds upon hundreds of dollars to buy all the 5 different flavors of that strawberry sherbet. There was no need for that. No need for that. But they brought themselves back to when they did the Perfect Grade RX-78-2 Unleash. That personally is my all-time favorite PG because it feels like a 3A collectible figurine. I'm like, this took like years to develop, and it feels great. There's a good deal of weight to it. The articulation's on point. The surface detail on the inner frame, it's sculpted by a god. And then you didn't tend to think to yourself, how can they one up this? Could they do a perfect grade new Gundam? That would sell. I'm on the fence of building another one of those variants, but at the same time, everyone will buy it, but then we're going to be stuck in a free fall, not getting 1 month, years, 2 years, and then eventually when we hit year 4 and there's plenty of them circulating around, the hype's died down. And plus, let's be real here, perfect grades don't sell well. High grades and real grades, and I forget what's the new one that's in between. It's the
MGEX.
They sell well. They sell very well. I think perfect grades are kind of done. And it's really unfortunate.
And you know what? To even add on that, master grades are starting to go as well because So the thing is that larger kits just take more time and money to develop to make. So you get one Verka per year, one additional unit, and sometimes that'll just be a rehash Verka, and they'll call it. So you're looking at 2 master grades released per year at most. And also another thing, thank you for coming on because I finally have someone to help me with the Witch of Mercury. I received nothing but criticism from these two all day. Hey,
I watched it at least.
Yeah, you watched it, but then you were always like, "Hey, Austin, is it still in your top 5? Is it still in your top 5? Let's know." Every time I keep telling them it's good, but no, they're just like, nah. So now we got a legend with us who's literally.
I said it was great. I want to stand on. I said it was great.
Hey, all the episodes recorded. That's a lie. That's a lie straight from the teeth, bro.
well, let me say this: my wife is not a big fan of Gundam. She doesn't care anything about it, but Witch from Mercury connected with her. Maybe because it was a female cast. Maybe just because the fact that we were becoming parents when the show was airing. Oh my god, the first prologue. Oh,
as a new parent,
I'm like, I kid you not, that episode got me bawling, dude. It got me bawling. I'm like,
happy birthday to you.
Oh, I'm like, and here's the thing: it hits me harder watching in Japanese than in English. I don't know why. I really don't know. Because I watched a lot of Japanese animes back in the day without being in dub.
You're a subbed over dub guy?
Yeah. No, I like either or. It doesn't bother me, but I grew up watching the Japanese version before the dub. It's just anything dubbed at the time was either done poorly or just was poorly executed. Best studio that comes to mind that really nailed it, they're gone now. They're called AD Films or ADV Films.
Yeah, ADV. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine, because here's the thing. What's popular now when you watch YouTube? Abridged series.
Yep.
And every time they would do a dub, whether it was on Excel Saga, Nadisco, Inuyasha, Full Metal Panic, they would wing it when the Japanese dialogue didn't really translate well with English. So they had to wing it, and it just works. And I love that. And like going back to Witcher Mercury, going back to listening to the Japanese version of the prologue, it's just like, I want to know who wrote this, because it is destroying me inside out. That's not right. No Gundam show has hit me this hard since Iron Blood Orphans. There hasn't been anything like that that's hit me that hard since Iron Blood Orphans. And I love Witch from Mercury for what they did from beginning to the end. I would love to be a movie. That'd be great. But the show wrapped up. So I'm okay with that. Don't do anymore, please. You're killing us with Seed. You're killing us, please. No more. Seed should have ended. Now we're getting more Seed. That's not fair.
That's Gundam's thing, though.
Yeah, Seed sells. And fun fact, there's another Seed movie.
I know.
They're making another Seed movie, and it's already in the works.
Making another one?
Yeah, they're making another one. It's called Mobile Suit Gundam Seed Justice. So you had freedom, and now you have justice.
And what sucks is I'm gonna buy the kits.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna buy them.
You, me too, buddy. We might as well just make a pack right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy them. There it is.
Yeah,
give me a master grade version, and I'll be happy.
It's on the way.
Yeah, I know.
We'll see. I'm on the fence. I'm part of the crowd that said they're not going to put a master grade out for those lines. They're just going to keep it at high grade. Might give you a real grade P Bandai, and leave it at that. Like we said earlier, the full mechanics and just not doing any master grades. I don't think they'll just come out with another master grade.
Hey man, I would say they only released 2 a year now. That means next year it's going to be that freedom. And I mean, the movie made enough money to justify the development for one. So at this point, now it'd be criminal if you don't capitalize on it. So
why did not drop it this year though?
Because they weren't ready. They didn't know the movie was going to be a success. They dropped it in January, the worst time for movies, and they're like, no one's going to go see this. Oh my god, it's a world hit.
Everyone, right.
And also Bandai really, I don't know what's wrong with Bandai just not believing in themselves. They've dropped banger after banger after banger after banger, and they're just like, nothing's going to work. Oh my gosh, there's so much money.
Yep.
I'll be there May 7th at 7:00. So
yes,
and another good example, like the Demon Slayer model kits sold very well too.
Yeah.
And they're great quality.
I don't know why they don't believe in themselves. It makes no sense to me. I don't know. Just clearly they have smart people working for them. They just need to trust them.
True.
And that's what's up. When it comes to your favorite series, what's your favorite Gundam series, Big Dog?
Ooh.
If you only pick one, you're like, you know what, I have to watch this on repeat.
The one that still hits me hard is Iron Blood Orphans. It still does. Witch for Mercury was like number one for the longest time, but I recently just rewatched Iron Blood Orphans and I love it. It's different. It's a different set of tone. There's characters that you like that die, and then it really hits you like, wow,
all the time.
This predicament. It's like this is a real show. I mean, granted, it didn't. Some people felt that it didn't do too well. It was a big impact for me. I love it.
Yes, it's definitely in my top 3, with Gundam Wing being my stand. Like that's going to be the Michael Jordan for me. And then Iron Blooded Orphans is probably right there when it comes to, and then probably Gundam Wing and Iron Blooded Orphans, Unicorn, interchangeable when it comes to those series. But Iron Blooded Orphans, you can watch that 50 times, and 50 times you're crying.
Yeah, you can take out the Gundam and still be a good time.
You talking about episode 40? If you start off at at least episode 40, all the way up into the end, like the last 10 episodes, right when Shino,
it hits you. It really does, and that's a testament to the writers. They knew what they were doing, and they executed beautifully. And then the show writer themselves, how they were executing the fighting sequences. With one, like, okay, the one thing I love about that show is, and this is one thing that you don't hear a lot in any of the Gundam series, like the iconic sounds you hear when metal hits metal. Something about Iron Blood, just like you hear that metal hit metal, it's there. You hear the resonance. You know there's weight. There's fear behind that. This isn't just your regular mosuit that does very well in space. You're on ground now. Okay, gravity's going to hit you like a bee, and you're going to feel the weight of that sound effect when you hear that clanging sound. And I don't feel a lot of people talk about that. And I know if you have like a really good surround sound or like a nice like 7.1 or 5.1 like sound bar in your house or in your living room or in your man cave, and you watch that show in 5.1, oh dude, it hits you hard, and I love it. And Witcher Mercury kind of did that too, a lot of with their action sequences. So I imagine what they learned from Iron Blood, they incorporated into that too.
Yeah, Iron Blood is definitely top. Austin, what you got for him when it comes to this question?
Oh yeah, if you could talk to any anime or manga character in real life, who would it be?
Ooh, let me think about this one. Any anime? Well, anyone. Ooh, that's a great one. I was going to say Setsuna FC, but we know what his resolve was at the very end, so I'm okay with that. I would say Dr. Stone.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
I love science. I love what you call it, stellar cartography. I love anything that is space related, and Dr. Stone has like that itch. You know, who would have thought that grabbing something as simple as carbonated water and then adding a little slice of lemon juice and then little food coloring can give you like a classic cold refreshing of Coca-Cola. Okay, you know, it's educational, it's invigorating, it's exciting. Now he's a little bit cocky when he's on his high echelon of being like the know-it-all into the Stone Age. But I think I would enjoy a great conversation with them. Like, how are you going to restart humanity? What are you going to take what you learned, what we screw up, and what are you going to apply with the new age of humanity? Are you ever going to solve the mystery of the green glow that turned everyone into stone? And if so, what is going to be the longevity of preventing people from turning into petrified, stones? You can't rely on a bat guano to help everyone. You can't rely on the sulfuric acid to be it. It's going to disappear over time. So you got to find a way to work with it for everyone in humanity. Who do you pick that's on your team? Who's going to be team science? Who's going to be team adventurer? Why do you not have the need to want to have a relationship with someone when clearly you want that relationship? Why is it that you can't call your father, who, by the way, his father in the show is not his biological father, but he looks hell of a lot like him. His facial feature. What's your history with your father? What happened? What was the falling out? And at the same time, there's really no need. He had his father figure right there from the beginning. He inspired him to go into space. He became an astronaut. His father survived the green glow, and his father left him literally a time capsule to kickstart what he needs to start the human race all over again. I would just literally talk with him for hours upon hours on just what he would do to help humanity. Like, what would you take what we screwed up at? Would you apply politics, religion, or personal viewpoints on what you think would be right for people? Do you feel that science is the one and be all thing to talk to people, or can there be a middle ground between those three elements? When are you going to learn how to, properly swim? When are you going to stop, coasting your ego and learn to just let down your guard and let your friends help you when they want to help you? Because I think that's like the one thing that, I think his name is Seku, right?
Yep.
Seku, yeah. Like, he really depends on himself, but he really needs his friends to back him up on every project. And that's made very apparent on episode 2 when he found his high school best friend. He needs his muscle. He needs someone to talk to about his ideas. He needs to be around people, because when you're stuck with your own thoughts, it destroys you. You become a completely different person. And I think that's wonderful about Seku. He's now letting down his walls and bringing people into his life that he either grew up with, people that he knew from back in the day, or just people that are just generally new.
Right.
I think that's.
I feel like when he was frozen or petrified, he kept counting in his head too, like the entire time. Like,
yeah,
crazy. Would you say that's your favorite anime?
Currently, right now, Kaiju number 8's kind of up there right now. That's like the year one right now. But you're talking about my all-time anime, like my all-time favorite anime, it would have to be Dragon Ball. It was something that me and my brother watched a lot. I mean, a lot when it was on Channel 9 back in the day, and we got everything from the Saiyan saga and then a little bit of the Frieza saga, and then what we watched afterwards was on Telemundo. So we were all caught up and watching in Spanish. You know,
that's a sub for you.
I mean, that was. I mean, Dragon Ball Z. I mean, anyone can remember that, and even if you didn't speak any Spanish, you were okay because now you're caught up before everyone else knows what happens to Goku when he goes Super Saiyan. And then now where things are at with Dragon Ball, and now you got Beast Gohan, you got him fighting Goku. He's in Ultra Instinct.
Yep.
You know, I don't want to spoil too much, but he gets himself bodied in that, and now Gohan is hosting Brawly. And again, we got to give thanks to Toriyama, because if it wasn't for the complete failure of the live action Dragon Ball film, we wouldn't have gotten Dragon Ball.
Yep.
At all.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy that, because I did not like the character Brawly at all. Team 4-Star hit it on the nail. He's just a giant man baby. He literally is. This Brawly, I just want to give him a hug and just tell him, like, everything's going to be okay, man. You got friends. Everything's good.
A part of me feels like Toriyama saw the Team 4-Star dub and he was like, that, you know what, I could do something with that.
Yes. Yes. Like that right there, that film is one of my all-time favorite Dragon Ball films. It really is, because Vegeta is now a calm, cool dad. He's really coming up to his age. Goku is still Goku.
Yeah.
Lord Beerus is still the god of destruction, but he got a little bit of a soft side to him. Bulma is cheating her age by using the Dragon Balls once a year, just rolling back that dial. And then the biggest crutch right now was Gohan.
Yeah.
You know, when is he gonna get to the same level like everyone else? So we kind of got it with the recent film that came out almost 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy where the show is going right now, and where it's now in the manga. Ooh, I don't think it's going to stop anytime soon. But I hope it doesn't turn to the scenario like One Piece. You know, there has to be a beginning and to the end, and that's why I couldn't get into One Piece at all. It's just, you know,
because it's still
where's
going.
the end goal? Why is One Piece essentially The Simpsons, like how The Simpsons is to their One Piece? It just keeps on going because it makes
pretty much.
That's a good question. I never even thought about putting that analogy together. The One Piece is Simpsons. Yeah.
They did have some rumors that he did plan on. He actually has an ending, but he just doesn't see no reason to get there.
Yeah,
I'm just like, and I was like, well, yeah. I mean, when Dump Trunks and Bunny just keep flowing in,
Might as well.
Don't really want to stop that train from coming.
Absolutely.
Man, this has been a great episode. Again, we got Otaku Builder in the building. We got one more final question for you, big dog.
All right.
A piece of advice for the people out there that's listening. That, you know, everybody, you obviously, I don't want to say surpassed, but you're at a level where a lot of people want to get to. If you could give some advice to those people that want to get to that level, what's that advice, big dog? You got the floor.
Ooh, well, here's the thing. Everyone wants to aspire to be the G Studios, the It's a Gundam, the Otaku Builder, or any other well-established content creator that's out there, whether on Instagram, X, or YouTube. You know, we all have a starting point on when we want to make content. The important thing you have to take in consideration is there's only so much you can copy what you see. You got to eventually delve into the whole realm of what really is like your identity. What can you establish that is who you are? Like for me, everyone's always noticed me as like, I'm the LED guy. That eventually will take a turn to the point where I need to really establish who I am as an individual. And that's why I lean heavily on kit bashing, because, you know, like I said before, I'll show an example. You can take what you absolutely love and turn it into art. There's no model kit of the Titanfall B274. Yeah, I built this from scratch. It's one of my all-time favorite kit bashes. So if there's something that you're passionate about, for me, it's been video games, anime, model kits, family. You can do something that can really kickstart with something that you really like. My only recommendation for you over time is just, if you're going to copy something, make sure you give full credit to the person that, really, kickstarted to you. If you're going to take inspiration from something, make sure you get that individual or that content creator full credit. If you're going to do video editing, don't focus too much on buying the high-end gear. You can do just fine with your cell phone for the first 100 episodes. And then eventually when you start raking into that YouTube ad revenue, you can upgrade over time. I did it for 3 years. I still juggle between working with my camera and my DSLR on the flip side. I do, both half and half because I like having that flexibility working with widescreen versus full screen. You don't want, you want to have that flexibility. Also, just be true to yourself and learn to branch out and work with other content creators. There's only so much as content creators can go by themselves, but really building in those tangible memories, those collaboration projects, those work in progress, those competitions you guys go together, those events that you guys go to, whether you're going on trips or going to go see like a Gundam tournament, and make the effort to really make those connections, because we were all trapped inside with our own thoughts for 2 to 3 years straight during the pandemic. The time has come to the point where we really need to start reaching out to help out one another. Because I can tell you down in the long end of it, just doing everything by yourself will depress you. It really will. And I'm not saying that happened to me. I've always had a desire to want to reach out and help out with other people I can. Like if there's like a giveaway, I will donate whatever kits I have. That's another thing I will touch on with a lot of people. If you like buying kits, you like to add it on your backlog, use those kits. Don't let it take up space. I know people have that itch, that desire to want to buy kits because we're grown adults. So we can spend whatever money we want. We can get whatever we want. It's within our right. We work hard for that money. Mm-hmm. But you don't want to take a situation that's a habit turning into an addiction. Mm-hmm. Okay,
that's real.
And I can say I almost dabbled into that when I had a bad habit of collecting collectible figurines. I had to stop because it wasn't really doing anything for me anymore besides just wasting tons of resources on it. So now I've taken that money and redirected towards making content on YouTube. So if I, over time, have gotten better what I need to do, don't be afraid to branch out. Another thing I'll touch on very briefly, don't stick with just Gundam. There are tons of wonderful kits out there in the marketplace that can be your identity or can be a stable point of taking you to another level. You like Zoids? Build Zoids. You like building something from Kotobukiya that's Metal Gear, Armored Core? Those are there. You want to get something from Orange Cat, Tekken M Blade, other little third parties into that? Do that. You want to build model cars? Like for me, I want to build sports cars because that's like the next echelon of something I want to get better at. I want to tackle that. You want to build model motorcycles? Do that. Don't just stick what's popular. Take what you make for content as your portfolio, because I guarantee you over time, people will hire you. People want to do collaborations with people, want to do things with you. And that gratification, it feels great.
Absolutely.
It really does.
That's a fact.
We appreciate you coming on here, big dog. We're gonna absolutely. We're gonna have to have you on here again, man. We're gonna have
please.
We're gonna have to do like a stream.
Get pencil up here.
all y'all, one stream, that'd be crazy, man. Again, this is Otaku Builder. He came through, gave a lot of knowledge, a lot of mental. We say it all the time. Mental health equals what, CD?
Mental wealth, baby.
Mental health equals mental wealth, and we are here for the community. Otaku Builder is part of the community. We appreciate it, brother, what you do for the community. So keep it up, man. You have any other shout outs you want to give out? You want to throw some plugs out there?
First off, I want to give a big thank you to Harry from New Type. He has been with me for now going to be 5 years, supporting me through these difficult times. He could have easily dropped me months ago, but he didn't. He supports me on Patreon. He supports what I make for content on Instagram and YouTube. He even, when New Type was what it was before it had this huge update, they would always showcase their sponsors, the people that they sponsor on their profile, and have like a nice little showcase for people that are making content. So I owe a lot to them. Big thank you to Evans Designs. You guys saved me during the pandemic. I have no idea how I was able to make content like I did for those painful 2 years. You know, we went through a dark times in that experience. So thank you for being there for me. Thank you for currently being there for my family, because you guys help put food on the table. So I'm very grateful for that. A big thank you to the community. I know I'm going to say I apologize that I haven't been making content in a timely fashion like I have been in the last 5 years. But all I can reassure you guys that things will get better. Things will return to the way they were a year ago, but things will be slightly different. But thank you for your patience. Thank you for your continuing support. Thank you for being there to support me and my family. Thank you just for the sake of just liking my work and sharing it amongst the community. I mean, I know I don't participate in a lot of tournaments. It's not my thing, but reading your comments, talking to you one-to-one like I'm talking to these nice gentlemen here, that's all I really need, is just to connect with you. And last and finally, okay, she's not listening. Sweetheart, thank you. Thank you. I know we've been going through a lot lately, but you are an incredible mother. You're a wonderful best friend. Thank you for being my rock. Thank you for being in my life. And I love you so much. Seriously, thank you.
There it is, man.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
Otaku Builder, man. I appreciate you coming on. We appreciate it a whole lot. We want to give our shout outs to, of course, Vulcan Hobby. Make sure you check out vulcanhobby.com. Use code Undergate10 to get 10% off of your order. Link's going to be in the description below. CD, tell them about SMS.
Come on, baby. Use Chloe's Dad 10 SMS lacquer based paint, already primed. Not primed, but spray as you go. Throw it in the gun, shoot it. Coops used it. Austin used it. We all use it. So
it's a perfect paint. And if you need tools, check out Gun Primer. Running Coop 10 to get 10% directly off of Gun Primer, and I'm running that giveaway for the Glazer set. So make sure y'all go check out my Instagram, watch the video, follow me, follow Gun Primer, tag 2 friends in the comments. That's all y'all have to do. May 5th, because that's Goku Day. That's why I picked that. I think it's Goku Day. It's May 5th.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. Yep. So every year, May 5th is typically Goku Day after May 4th, and that's pretty much it. I'll give the giveaway announcement or the winner of the giveaway on that day, and good luck to everybody. Until next time, folks, be humble, be blessed, keep doing what you're doing. We see y'all in another 168 hours. 168 hours down, 168 hours to go. Have a blessed week. Undergated, never underrated, baby. Peace.